From a cube world to tiny chess, here are 857 fantastic Minecraft facts. Look at this cat. It's completely missing a leg. In this snapshot, cats are spawned with only 3 legs. Although it looks pretty goofy, the cat still walked like normal and died like normal too. Check out this new block. If we correctly angle ourselves, this tunnel looks like a strange alien block. But flying around it, we can clearly see the tunnel. Using this illusion perspective, we can also create tiny diamond blocks like this. Cute. Will ice stop the Ender Dragon? If you fill the end with ice, the Ender Dragon will unsurprisingly tear through all the ice. But how about water? Well, the dragon will just swim through it all. And don't even think about trying lava, because the dragon can just swim through it as well. What's crazier is that if you turn the entire end to bedrock, the dragon will still phase through the blocks. He's unstoppable. Eating a chorus fruit teleports you up to 8 blocks away. However, most people don't know that chorus fruit can actually be used to teleport outside of the world border. You can even set the world border really tiny and you'll be sent straight outside. You can make an item whirlpool. First break 4 blocks in the middle and then break 7 blocks out on each side. So you get something like this. When we place water in the middle, it'll create a mini whirlpool. Just throw in items and they'll start twirling in circles. Ravagers are one of the scariest mobs, but it used to have a secret fear. When they were first added in snapshots 18W43A, they were actually afraid of rabbits and would run away from them. However, Jeb later tweeted that it didn't quite fit the scary nature of the Ravager and the feature was removed. The end portal destroys all blocks inside when you light it, but what if villagers are sleeping inside? Will they be deleted as well? Once the final eye is put in, all the villagers and beds disappear. When we enter the end, however, we'll find the villagers and even some broken bed items. With just a fishing rod and minecart, you used to be able to soar through the sky. You could do this by right-clicking the rod super quickly and it'd grab the minecart and continuously take you higher into the sky. Is staying in water and lava safe? Place down water, lava, and chests like so. Then when you let the water push you to the pixel of lava, you'll still catch on fire. Okay, maybe we need more water. If we upgrade our setup like so, this will surely protect us, right? Nope. We're somehow drowning and burning at the same time. Are you kidding me? Zombies take damage from healing potions, so it makes you wonder, will a totem of undying work on it? If we kill the zombie, the totem will pop and it'll save the zombie. Hooray! Zombie sieges can happen in villages with more than 20 beds. Sieges have a 10% chance of spawning at midnight in these villages, and during them, it's very dangerous. Up to 20 zombies spawn within 2 seconds, and it doesn't matter how well lit the area is either, they'll still spawn. If you store a bunch of netherite in a shulker box and throw it into lava, the shulker box will be destroyed, but all the items will float back into the surface. But for some reason, if you throw it at a cactus, the items just get destroyed. My netherite! Why won't this golem spawn? Well, it's because if the pumpkin isn't placed last, the golem won't spawn. It's the same for the snow golem. You have to place the pumpkin at the end. A group of sheep is called a herd. A group of bees is called a swarm. What about endermen? Well, according to Dinnerbone, the official name for a group of endermen is called a haunting of endermen. Spooky. The original creepers were nothing compared to today. When initially added, creepers didn't explode, but instead were a melee mob and tried to attack you. They were also the same color as grass blocks back then, so were a lot more difficult to spot. They'd camouflage right into the environment and bam! It's impossible to place blocks below the void, but there's an illegal way to live there. Shulkers can actually be spawned below bedrock, and using cheats, you can create a walkable platform out of them. And if you want to get out, the shulkers will levitate you right back up. Did you know that the crafting table can be used as a compass? On its northern part, there will always be a texture with a saw and a hammer, regardless of what direction you're looking when placing the block. Cauldrons were used for creating potions instead of brewing stands. When it was first added to Minecraft, you could throw the ingredients into a water-filled cauldron and boom, you had a tub of the best potions in the game. This would have been amazing. So overpowered. I always thought the recipe book was just part of the GUI, but it turns out it's an actual item. It can be obtained just by giving yourself a knowledge book with commands. Something pretty cool is that you can also attach NBT data to the book, so when you right-click it, it'll add recipes to your recipe tab. You can make nether portals up to 23 by 23 blocks large, but what will happen if 2 portals are crossed? While it'd be pretty cool for both portals to be activated, Mojang coded it in so only one of the portals turns on. If you're looking for a natural defense, you need bamboo and berry bushes. The bamboo will create a beautiful barricade, stopping mobs from entering, and the berry bushes will spike the mobs. This combination is surprisingly great at stopping mobs, while players can still slip around the tight bamboo gaps. Particles are beautiful, but you can make them way prettier. You can spawn all kinds of particles like lava droplets, crying obsidian, or even block markers. My favorite is some summoning a lot of cherry leaves because they'll form a pretty looking cave. By throwing an ender pearl and then lowering your render distance, you'll freeze the pearl in an unloaded chunk. You can then do whatever you have to do, and once you're ready to teleport, raise your render distance, which will load the pearl in and you'll teleport. This is called pearl hanging, and pro speedrunners use it to travel across the world super quickly. You can actually send redstone signals through leaves. When wood gets attached to leaves, it actually updates the data. This is especially useful for sending signals upwards. This can also be done with walls because pushing a block to the side will update all the walls beneath instantly. If an enderman is given invisibility, their eyes are still visible. The same goes for the spider's eyes and the blaze of smoke. This flower was forgotten. Although some people know about the rose being replaced by the poppy, most have forgotten about the cyan flower. According to Jeb, these existed because of a hardware problem where the red color of the rose was inverted to blue. Lava in the nether actually flows further than in the overworld, but that's not the only way it's different. It actually flows out faster too. But which do you think is faster? Water in the overworld or lava in the nether? I tested it and it turns out the water is clearly faster. Silverfish used to be allergic to soul sand. In versions before 1.15, the silverfish's hitbox was a bit too low and would suffocate in the slightly smaller soul sand blocks. Some villages in Minecraft can spawn completely destroyed. Villages have a 2% chance of spawning abandoned. Here, zombie villagers spawn instead of regular villagers, and all doors and torches are missing. What's sadder is that there's a lot of cobwebs and stray cats that have been abandoned. Aww. If you get 3 stacks of bottles and put them single file one by one into a brewing stand like this, you can click on the first, second, and third stack to get 190 items in survival mode. Unfortunately, the game doesn't let you store the 190 bottles in your inventory, so it's mostly just a fun trick. But if you drop the item on the ground, a mob that can pick up items can actually pick it up. Did you know the Wither and Ender Dragon have names? The Wither boss in Minecraft is officially named Simmons, and the Ender Dragon is named Gene by the developers. This mob is the Great Hunger. It has huge jaws and can sink into the ground, camouflaging itself. The Great Hunger acts like a bear trap, and any item you drop into its mouth will be crushed. It also works with mobs and players. Ow! The mob was outvoted in Minecraft Live, but was supposed to be added in future updates. Powdered snow is great for trapping invaders, but the problem is that it's so easy to escape. But you can improve the trap by combining powdered snow with slime blocks. Creating a contraption like this is impossible to escape, even with an efficiency 5 shovel. They'll be goners unless they have a flaming bow or buckets. Someone please help me out! This is a ghast house, and it actually works. To build it, just get a ghast in a minecart and push it to the center of your flooring. Then you'll actually be able to enter and access your items. The downside is that you'll have to be in peaceful or creative mode if you don't want the gas blowing up everything. Fish need water to live, but did you know they can survive on land for a short period of time? So with some redstone trickery, you can make them perpetually flop around, giving them just enough water to not die. It's like waterboarding, but for fish. If you spam type messages, you'll be kicked out of your own single-player world and brought to the multiplayer screen. This only happens if your world has cheats disabled. Axolotls can be used as balloons? Well, if you leash a bunch of axolotls and then give them all the levitation effect, they'll soar into the sky, giving you colorful balloons. We can also attach them to a fence to use as decoration. This can be done with other mobs as well, but they aren't as colorful as axolotls. When you slept with blocks on top of you, your sleeping position would just move to the ground next to the bed. However, this has since been fixed, and now you can't enter the bed and get an error message. However, by exchanging the full blocks for something like an enchanting table, you can still enter the bed and you'll see books floating above while you sleep. Before 1.20, anvils used to crush items, but something lesser known was that if an anvil fell on a shulker box, just the box would break and all the items would explode outwards. If you drop shulker boxes full of items down a tube and then dropped an anvil on top, it causes all the boxes to break and the items would explode outward like a pretty fountain. Beds can hide a secret entrance. Well, if you place blocks all around the bed except one spot, you'll spawn there when exiting the bed. Knowing this, you can place a bed in a secret corner, and by exiting it, you'll be in your secret stash. Iron golems have a secret feature. Very rarely, golems will offer up a flower to villagers, and sometimes if there's a baby villager, the golem will hand the flower over. Notch added this from an iconic scene in the movie Castle in the Sky, where a robot gave a little girl a flower. This proves golems are gentle giants. Endermen are great at escaping danger, but not if it's surrounded by water. By putting it in an underwater prison like this one, the Enderman will be in constant fear. But if you change one glass for a grass block, the Enderman will eventually pick up the block and dig its own grave by letting water in. A tree you can easily turn into a house is a mushroom. Just plop a few ladders down, create the flooring, add a window, and you'll have a super cozy room. When texture files are missing, this strange update block used to show up. In some older versions of the Bedrock edition, you could place it with the /set block unknown command. Although the block looks like dirt, shovels were ineffective against the block. The nether and end dimensions are needed to beat the game. However, on 1.16 pre-release 1, all dimension settings were accidentally removed. This made the nether and end completely inaccessible and would crash the game trying to enter them. It would also cause the world seed to randomize every time you loaded up the world, so you'd get these corrupted chunk borders. This is a hydraulic press. If you throw coal down, the machine will press it down and turn it into a diamond. This other machine compacts a Herobrine skull into the ground. It looks pretty terrifying. What will win? A max unbreaking shield or max power skeleton? Let's try first with an unenchanted shield, and the skeleton breaks it in only 2 shots. Now let's test a max shield. The skeleton barely damages it, but if we spawn a ton of them, they'll rapid fire and destroy the shield in less than a second. Do you see the base? Well, it's actually in this water barrel. If you surround it with the other decorations, it'll blend right into the background. To enter, just right-click the trapdoor under the barrel and close in on your way down. No one is finding your base here. You can break Minecraft with just a trapdoor. Although a fairly simple block, there actually isn't a limit to how fast you can open and close it. So by using an extremely fast auto clicker, you can toggle the trapdoor and create a super loud sound. The same can also be done on bells to create a ring that can be heard from miles away. The desert is a great place to build since it never rains. The roof of this house was made of trapdoors where glowberries could be hung from. On the side, stairs can be used to access the house, taking advantage of different sandstone variants. Finally, we can add some texture around the outside. There were supply crates? During April Fools in 2011, Steve's supply crates were added. To open it, you had to visit the store, which had a bunch of strange items from keys to a creeper saddle. But if you tried to purchase any of it, a dinosaur would appear. The Steve crate was a parody of the man supply crate found in another game called Team Fortress 2. For some reason, mobs aren't able to walk over rails, so you can set up a simple piston to push up rails, and no monster will be able to enter your house. You can also use 2-end rods like this, or lightning rods if you're feeling extra fancy. Just be careful of skeletons. Owie! Wolves can't teleport to you if there is no safe space to teleport to. But if you are completely surrounded in glass blocks, the wolf has a superpower and can teleport straight into it because it's a transparent block. That looks painful. When ghasts were initially added, they shot burning snowballs that were extremely deadly. After that, there was also a bug where the ghasts could shoot flaming diamond helmets. If you enchant your crossbow with piercing level 127, you can shoot through a ton of mobs. Just spawn a bunch of snow golems in a line, aim the bow straight, and slice through them all. If you build 2 end portals side by side and light up all the frame blocks, will both portals be activated? When you place the final eye, only one of them gets lit. You can change which one activates by changing the orientation of the middle blocks. Jumping on slime blocks is supposed to bounce you, but if you hold shift to cancel the bounce, you'll end up breaking your legs. Instead, just hold down spacebar and it'll cancel the bounce without hurting you. Most people think there's only one stronghold in the entire Minecraft world, but there are actually way more. And it's not just 2 to 3 extra strongholds. In total, there are 128 strongholds that generate in each world. Rubies were supposed to be in Minecraft. They were originally meant to be used for villager trading instead of emeralds. However, one of the major reasons to remove them was that Dinnerbone was colorblind. This made ruby ore and redstone look too similar. Rest in peace, rubies. There's a color in Minecraft that is everywhere, but almost no one has noticed. Look at ocean monuments, guardians, the warden, and even soul energy. What do you think all of them have in common? It's the cyan color. Could this have something to do with Minecraft's ancient lore? Everyone knows you can milk cows, but there's another secret mob you can milk. You might be thinking the other mob is a pig or even a horse, but the other mob is actually a goat. I guess getting goat milk makes sense. Note blocks can play different instruments. To do so, just change the block underneath it. Wood creates a string bass, sand creates snare drum, glass creates clicks, and clay creates flute sounds. These are all the different options. Something very satisfying are automatic farms because they'll work forever without you. This melon farm is super satisfying to watch. As the pistons break the melons and items float down. This mod makes water super realistic. Placing sand on top of water will push it out. Infinite water sources don't exist, and dispensers will only shoot a drop of water out. If I blow a hole in this dam, water will start gushing in and flood the area. Eventually, the water level outside the dam and inside will level out. Sorry for ruining your homes. If you have a railway system leading underground, you can easily trap it with a detector rail and a piston sending you falling. This house may look safe to enter, but it's actually extremely deadly. Underneath each of the trapdoors are poisonous pufferfish. Anyone taking a walk over it will instantly be poisoned. Why do speedrunners break the blocks under the blaze spawner? I always wondered this, but turns out by breaking the floor, the blazes have a larger area to spawn in and will lead to more spawning. This way, you can save time and get blaze rods quicker. What's your favorite dimension in the game? The nether, end, or maybe even the other world? Mine's the sky dimension. That's because back in beta Minecraft, Notch actually planned this wild dream world that could only be accessed through sleeping. However, this concept was later shifted to be a part of the end rather than this sky world. We need a mod for this. Oh wait, what happens if you light an end portal portal with pistons inside. Well, as you might have expected, the pistons get completely deleted. If you splash invisibility on a pig, the saddle can still be seen. While this may seem normal at first, if you do the same thing to a horse, the horse's saddle becomes invisible. What if you throw an ender pearl before sleeping? Will you be teleported out of the bed, or will you just keep on sleeping? I tried it by throwing a pearl and getting in my bed super quickly. However, when the pearl landed, nothing happened, and I just kept sleeping until morning. Every tool in Minecraft can mine its own type. Iron mines iron, diamond mines diamond, but gold can't even mine other gold ores. Why are you so weak? The lush caves are one of the prettiest biomes. You can dig into the wall and create a secret lair. Inside, you'll have all your valuables along with a display of your axolotls. Make sure to use blocks found in the inside of lush caves like deep slate and glowberries to not break the aesthetic of the biome. Minecraft is famous for its blocky 3D world, but what if it was 2D? Well, YouTuber Mystacat actually created a 2D Minecraft world using data packs and plugins. There's everything from parkour, zombies, placing blocks, and caves. Awesome! When a zombie tries to enter this house, it instantly starts to take damage. This is because beneath the trapdoors are magma blocks that burn the zombies alive. You can place other blocks on top of the magma block, like carpets and moss blocks, to camouflage it. There's a way to make your fishing rods unbreakable. All you have to do is cast your line normally, and once the fish starts coming in, just swap to a normal fishing rod. This way, you can get faster fishing rates without losing any durability on your enchanted rod. Putting a thick item like an iron block on an item frame will make it stick out from both sides. Can see this best when you put the item frame on a slab or fence. Check out this minecart furnace. Notice anything strange? Well, the furnace's orientation is constantly changing in weird ways. This is because minecarts are hard-coded to face only south and east, so the orientation flips the wrong way when changing directions. The same thing happens with minecart chests, where the front of the chest strangely swaps orientations when making turns. There's no way you knew this. If you drop an item into the ocean, dolphins will start playing with it. They'll bop the item with their noses, sending it flying. Too bad this only works on Java Edition. Minecarts are able to snap the rails below even if a block is in the way. The minecart can snap through blocks like slabs, salt sand, farmland, and even chests. It feels like you're hacking with this glitch. When you place water blocks together, you're able to create an infinite water source. But if you try the same thing with lava, it won't work. Still, there's still a sneaky way to get infinite lava. Just place lava on top of a dripstone block and catch the droplets using a cauldron. You can have multiple of these to create the ultimate lava setup. Save your rotten flesh. Rotten flesh is almost completely useless because it gives you poison when you eat it up. But if you feed it to your dogs, they'll be perfectly fine and heal up. This house is larger than you think. To create it, find a small hill and build up a small house in front of it. Behind the front entrance, dig into the hill and create a huge room. Although the house may look small from the outside, once you enter, it'll seem a whole lot bigger. If you want to torture a slime, simply lock it in a cube of slime blocks. Slimes aren't able to jump on top of slime blocks, so they'll be forever stuck. It's a bit cruel because they're jumping on dead slimes, but you can just trap magma cubes and feel less guilty. Ever wonder why jukeboxes need diamonds to craft? Turns out they're based on old phonographs, which use diamond-tipped needles to play the music. That's so cool. Jungles have a ton of tall trees, and they're close enough together where we can connect with bridges using slabs and fences. Ladders aren't needed either, since you can just use vines. But the best thing is that if you ever need more room, you can easily make it bigger by connecting to more trees. Endermen hate water, but for some reason, if you put an Enderman in a water cauldron, they don't seem to mind. What's even weirder is that you can put a lava cauldron underwater, and if you go into it, you'll burn while underwater. Something really cursed is that if you get water in the nether, you can actually fish there and get items. I wonder how fish got there. How do you get mob heads in Minecraft? Wither skeleton skulls are the easiest and are obtained just by killing them. You can get zombie piglin, creeper, or skeleton skulls by having a charged creeper explode them. And dragon heads can be found on pirate ships in the End Islands. I wonder how that got there. If you want an extremely different house, try making it out of all plants. It won't be the safest, but it's perfect if you love nature. Something is wrong with you if you build this. You can take Skulk Waves 3-dimensional. Just create a giant cube of Skulk sensors, set iron trapdoors along the outside, and just drop an item. It'll create amazing 3D waves all across the cube, and the sounds of the trapdoors closing are so nice. Slime cubes and magma cubes can be any size you want. Just adjust their size with commands, and you can have one that's as large as your world. But watch out, because the larger they are, the more damage it deals, faster it moves, and higher it jumps. Run for it! Check out this painting. The skull isn't the interesting part, but the world behind it. Seed hunters were able to find the exact world using the clouds and flowers seen in a clearer screenshot of the painting. Piglins are super scared of this. When you place down a blue lantern, the piglin will scurry away. You can use a piston to open and close the light from either side of a wall, making the piglin run in fear side to side. Better give me ender pearls next time. You can actually set walk a crop on any block, and as long long as you don't update it, the crop will actually grow. This means you can grow carrots on anything, like on top of bedrock, or even netherrack. Villagers love to kill villagers, but they actually have a wholesome side. Villagers will avoid killing the babies. You're safe today. Oh, I'm sorry. You can actually stack different slabs. Go to the world border, place one slab at the edge, and then push another slab into it using a piston. However, it gets even better as you can combine other blocks as well. For example, a grindstone and a cauldron, or even a chain into another chain. Unfortunately, it's only a visual glitch and it resets after relogging the world. Still super cool though. If you want to spice up your house, you can make a closet with banners that look like actual clothes inside. It's the perfect way to add a touch of realism to your Minecraft bedroom. Fish out of water flop a lot. If you put them on top of slime blocks, they'll start bouncing super high because of it. This also happens to guardians, where they bounce exponentially higher each time. What happens if realistic water collides with sponges? Let the water flow down, and it seems like there's still some water left. How about a sphere ball of water versus a sponge bowl? It seems like most of the water got taken out. There's a way to walk through walls. If you look downwards and throw an ender pearl, you can teleport straight through them. It's a handy trick if you ever get put inside an obsidian box or want to get through some iron doors. Most items crafted with wood use the oak texture, but not all of them. Item frames and fletching tables both use birch, while cartography tables and grindstones use dark oak. Then there are barrels, which just use spruce. When walking over amethyst, a pretty sound gets played. It happens with each step, so if you give yourself speed and run over it, you'll hear more jingles. But by giving yourself a speed strength at 255, you'll zoom over the amethyst crystals and play an entire musical. Okay, this doesn't sound very good. Years ago, you could get fried chicken. Well, kinda. Chickens used to spawn in the nether. This was because chicken pigmen riders spawned here, so the game used to bug out and spawn the chickens alone. Zombies can't jump over azalea bushes, so make sure to surround your house with them to create a natural-looking barricade. Gassed fireballs deal the most damage in the game. When you hit a fireball back at the ghast, it'll deal 500 hearts of damage to it. This is because Mojang wanted the ghast to instantly die if the player successfully rebounded the fireball. What's the smallest mob? I used to think it was the baby chicken or even the pufferfish, which is only 0.35 blocks big, but they're both not even close. The second smallest mob is the baby turtle at 0.12 blocks, and the first smallest mob is the tadpole at 0.08 blocks. Every Christmas, Mojang makes an amazing change. During December 24 to 26, all chests are transformed into presents. So pretty. Steve's skin has changed a few times. Steve's skin used to have a beard, but it was eventually shaved right off. However, in 2022, Mojang changed this and added the beard back. But I always thought the beard was a smile. If you throw an ender pearl and go through a nether portal, will you get teleported back? Nope. But once you go back into the overworld, you'll load the ender pearl and get teleported. But how about on multiplayer where the chunks are still loaded? Well, if you throw a pearl and then quickly enter the portal, you'll see that your pearl will just land but not teleport you. The ender pearl sadly can teleport you across dimensions. By naming a villager Dinnerbone, you can flip it upside down. The villager can then be placed on top of a barrier block or iron bar, making it look like it's hung upside down by chains. Once it turns night, a horde of zombies will spawn and the villager will be terrified. The villager won't know the zombies can't reach it though. If you glitch on top of the nether roof, it'll be a barren wasteland. However, on a 1.16 snapshot, crimson trees actually generated up there, so you could build tools and even a nice house. Did you know that Deep Slate was supposed to be named something else? Originally, Deep Slate was meant to be Grimstone, but Mojang decided that Grim sounded too negative. Yeah, okay, Mojang. Pandas are one of the cutest mobs in Minecraft, and I'll never hurt them. Psych. The worried panda type whimpers in fear whenever there's a lightning storm. When it cries, you can break any roof on top of the panda, or even just throw a channeling trident at it. Too bad this only works on Bedrock Edition. This is the Pillager Freezer. It uses pistons to surround this Ravager in powdered snow, causing it to freeze. Just before it begins to take damage, the cold is released only to start back up again shortly. You can even see it shivering inside the powdered snow. Maybe it'll be nice to the villagers now. No. Skeletons are one of the most annoying mobs, but you can get revenge with boots. Just toss them some Frostwalker boots and leave the skeleton on an island without trees. Once it turns day, the skeleton will try running to the water, but will never be able to stop burning. This works with other undead mobs too, like zombies. In version 1.15, the devs accidentally added some secret items. In 1.15, the wax block and crystallized honey were added. No one knew what they'd be used for, but it was later found out that they were added on accident and were removed. The sand will kill you. In an early version of 1.14, if sand was placed on an entity, the mob would then no-clip through the ground. Testing it out on yourself, you'll see that it makes you sink right through the ground until you're killed by the void. It's like entering the back rooms. Another way to perform this glitch is just by pushing a block into an entity. It's a pretty cool way to break Minecraft when it's not done on yourself. One of the most iconic ways to break Minecraft is just by using an ender pearl to get on the nether roof. It's extremely easy to do and will let you quickly travel across across the world. What would a shulker look like without its shell? Just throw a potion of invisibility to see. Oh, okay, I see why you hide your face now. But if you don't want to burn down the house, you can also do the exact opposite with a water house. This base will fire out water at all sides of your base, so no mobs can enter. It's an extremely simple design, but very effective. What if the Ender Dragon goes to the Nether? It's a lot stranger than you think. If you set a bunch of Nether portal blocks, the Ender Dragon will actually just break through them. However, if you use the Immersive Portals mod, something crazy happens. Once the Ender Dragon enters the Immersive Portal, a ton of dragons end up getting spawned. This is because whenever the dragon is missing from the main island, a new dragon gets spawned to replace it. But here, whenever a new dragon spawns, it immediately enters the Nether, causing a new dragon to spawn repeatedly. The enchanting table language actually translates to real words. It's called the Standard Galactic Alphabet from a game called Commander Keen. The symbols in the enchanting table translate to words like air, baguette, and ball. Sadly, these words are just aesthetic though, and can't be used to predict the enchantments. How do you cross one block gaps without jumping? You may think I'm using speed or ladders to cross these blocks, but I'm not. By turning your head 45 degrees and walking diagonally, it actually makes you just fast enough to walk over block gaps without jumping. TNT is extremely dangerous because it can destroy your entire build, but if you put a falling anvil on top of the prime TNT, the TNT will explode inside of the anvil, and no blocks will break. Piglings are evil and try to crush turtle eggs, so if you want to bother them, you can place a turtle egg surrounded by lava. Trapdoors are also placed so they think they can reach it. The piglings will try to break the egg, but end up falling and burning. This way, we will avenge the turtle, so it's not completely wrong. Take a close look at the hotbar, and you'll realize that the boxes and sand textures that are transparent. Mojang is very good at reusing textures. Are you kidding me? If you don't want this to happen, there's an amazing trick you can do to make your chests invincible. Just waterlog them, and even if you set off a million explosions, your loot is going nowhere. Axolotls were super broken. Putting leads on them would for some reason make them spin around you very fast. It's like they're dancing around me. I can't believe these were in Minecraft. The in-depth version of the game had 4 really unusual mobs: Steve, Black Steve, Rana, and Beast Boy. These mobs were originally broken and didn't even have a walking animation. These cartoon characters shouldn't be in the game. Mojang is about to catch a lawsuit. Never clutch using a bed. While it may seem like a safe option to use it to catch your fall, once you get out of the bed, you'll take more fall damage than you would have if you just took the fall damage normally. Hoppers are amazing for transporting items, but they're so boring. For a more exciting way, try using an ice and bubble beam staircase. The items will glide across the ice and bounce on the bubble beams all the way to the top. The items look like they're dancing upwards. What will win? 1,000 bees or a warden? The warden will attack the noisy bees first, which will alarm the rest of them. This will cause the entire hive to attack the warden, which will overwhelm it. After a while, the buzzing bees would have slain the warden. Did you know it's possible to make an Ender Dragon farm? It works by shooting an arrow at light speeds using TNT and killing the Ender Dragon in a single shot. It's pretty overpowered and can be used to farm experience points. If you have a ton of enemies outside, you'll need something that shoots quickly. By placing redstone torches, redstone, and dispensers like this, you'll create a rapid fire turret. Anything can be put in here, from arrows to fire charges to fireworks. This contraption is special because you can extend it horizontally as much as you want. There are 4 types of protection, but you can only apply 1 type per armor piece. This means you normally can't mix things like fire protection and blast protection on the same armor. However, on 1.14.2, this wasn't the case. There was a bug that lets you stack the different protection types and create the ultimate armor. You'll be way stronger with this armor. You can turn dirt into emeralds. First, turn that dirt into mud using a water bottle. Next, dry it out using dripstone, and finally, you can mine that clay and trade it for some emeralds from a stonemason. Maybe not the quickest way, but still a cool trick. Bubble columns are one of the best ways to travel quickly upwards, but you can also create one of the deadliest traps with them. Just spam a bunch of harming potions at the top of the bubble column and then block it off with obsidian, and whoever has to swim up next will be a goner. Some skeletons can naturally pick up swords in the Bedrock edition, and they swing it super fast. You stole my sword! Okay, you can just keep it. Redstone can be surprisingly satisfying. This is a minecart wave machine. It uses slime blocks and repeaters to bounce up minecarts in a beautiful pattern. What's even better is you can exchange the minecarts for villagers and terrorize them. It's impossible to put both infinity and mending on a bow because the developers thought it'd be too overpowered. However, from versions 1.9 to 1.11, it was actually still possible. If you applied mending on your bow at this time, you'd have an illegal bow. When a mob dies near Skull Catalyst, it causes the skull to spread. However, most people don't know the catalyst actually works in the end as well. If you set up a catalyst and drop a ton of Ravagers using commands, you'll quickly see the end turn into the deep dark. By placing a bunch of doors and pressure plates, you can create a labyrinth that is super super annoying to get through. When players see this, they'll probably just turn back around. Why are gold tools so weak? Gold is harder to find than iron, but still seems way worse. The reason for this is because gold is a soft metal in real life. Enderman can't be shot with snowballs, eggs, or arrows. But if you use a tipped arrow on the Enderman, although the arrow would miss, the Enderman still get the effect. Did you know if you push a honey block, the entity on top moves with it? This feature lets you create amazing conveyor belts to show off all your diamonds. Just watch them glide along. Mine carts are super buggy. When you ride around a corner and blocks are at eye level, the screen blacks out for a second. In older versions, you would even take damage. Forest trees normally stop growing after a certain height, but using commands, you can replace the chorus flowers with new seeds, and the chorus tree will keep growing. Keep doing this until the chorus tree is huge, and breaking the bottom stem will collapse the entire structure. With a realistic physics mod, the breaking looks pretty realistic. You can never unlearn this. The Void World Super Flat preset spawns a stone platform centered at 8 rather than 0, so the stone platform is off-centered. My life is ruined. Good luck trapping snow golems. Snow golems in Minecraft will actively try to leave any confined space they are in. They check for exits every few seconds and walk out. Too bad villagers aren't that smart. Look at this bowl. It looks pretty normal, but it's actually a super rare item. When turtles get struck by lightning, they actually drop wooden bowls. What's weird is that it's not a glitch or random choice. Someone at Mojang intentionally coded it in. It's basically a cooked turtle shell. Rabbits used to be way cooler than what we have now. Today, rabbits are boring and are just a food source, but back when they were first introduced, you could hold out a carrot and tame the actual rabbit. That's right, you could have rabbits as pets in early versions, and they'd even teleport to you. You could even breed entire armies of rabbits. I need them back. To throw items through blocks, just throw it at a path block, because patch blocks are slightly smaller than a full block, and hoppers underneath can actually pick them up. This also works with other smaller blocks like soul sand and farmland. Crimson and warped logs are actually animated and have a pulsing texture. It makes the wood almost feel alive. By quickly entering and leaving a boat, you can actually trick the game and make it lose track of where you are. You can wander across your entire world, but if you shift, you'd be teleported right back to the boat. This only worked on older versions of multiplayer and gained notoriety when YouTuber Fundy performed it on a live stream. Before the world border existed, there were the Farlands. It looked like a giant ant farm and looked way cooler than what we have now. It appeared 12 million blocks away from spawn, and well worth the travel. One player even spent 3 years traveling to the Farlands on foot. That's next level dedication. This is a disappearing island. For some reason, shulker boxes don't render unless you get close to them. Knowing this, you can build entire sky islands out of shulker boxes that appear only as you get close to it. The island would be invisible to everyone except those who know where it is. If you're trying to build a house as fast as possible, you obviously have to get blocks very fast. The quickest blocks to get are probably leaves, since all you need is a pair of shears and you're ready to instantly shred through them. You can then build up the final house like so. Just be careful of lightning strikes, since they'll incinerate your entire house as quickly as you build it. Those are my items. Are your friends always looting your chests? Well, you can use maps to hide them. Place a map over your chest and you can click the edge of the map to access your chest. My valuables are finally safe. Snowballs don't damage most mobs, making them amazing for annoying mobs. In this case, you can build a small room where the zombie will never be able to reach the golems. The zombies will be whacked in the head with snowballs and unable to stop it. Or you can just trap a zombie and surround it with snow golems. It'll be bonked from all sides. Stop using the crafting table, at least to craft stone stairs, because you end up wasting so much stone. It takes 6 stones to craft 4 stairs with the crafting table, but you can craft a stair with just 1 stone using the stone cutter. Everyone knows ice makes the ground slippery, but if you place carpet on top of it, you'll still be sliding. What's even more insane is that you can put entire slabs on top and you'll still slide. What is this, Mojang? This is the Mob Scarer 3000. Arrows will come out of the dispenser, but none will connect. It is perfectly timed to shoot arrows at the mob, but block it at the last second with a piston. This can be applied to various mobs, so use your imagination. If you run a lava stream into water, it'll create cobblestone. But in Nether, this doesn't work. Instead, you can create a basalt generator. Place lava, blue ice, and soul soil like this, and once the lava runs into the blue ice, basalt will form. Some players like Mumbo Jumbo have even created automatic basalt bridges. Hoppers are the best for picking up dropped items. However, they can't pick up items if there's a full block on top. But by just exchanging the hopper with a hopper minecart, it'll magically suck the items right through the whole block. Before version 1.15, you could use the Silk Touch book to mine things, and it'll actually work, saving you tool durability. This could also be done with a fire aspect book to light mobs on fire. Barrier blocks are invisible unless you hold one in your hand. With these items, you can make yourself an invisible house that no one knows about. It wouldn't be until you hold one in your hand that you can see your illegal red home. When animals die by fire, they're supposed to drop cooked food, but for some reason, if animals die by campfire, the food won't be cooked. This doesn't make any sense. How small can you make your hitbox? The player's hitbox is roughly 1.86 blocks tall. While standing and by crouching, you can bring it down to 1.5 blocks. However, the hitbox can get much smaller. If you enter your swimming animation or fly with an elytra, your hitbox will be only 0.6 blocks tall, but you can still get smaller. If you enter a bed, the player's hitbox will be only 0.2 blocks tall, and it is located inside the player's head. This makes it so you can't hit a player in a bed unless you aim for the center of their head. Minecraft used to use item IDs, so if you wanted to give yourself a certain item with commands, you'd have to memorize the numbers of all the items, which were a pain. However, there was one upside during this time. You could actually get some illegal items like the lit lamp, glowing furnace, water block, or even just lava. You may know that water can hydrate crops up to 4 blocks away, but did you know it can work through air? That's right, it doesn't matter what blocks are between the farmland and water, it'll still hydrate. Imagine living inside a video game console. Well, you can simulate it by creating a Switch console outlined with blue and red concrete. You can turn the screen into your home and it'll look like you're a character in the game. Water is supposed to make you not take fall damage, so explain this. When you drop into a cauldron filled with water, you'll die. However, when you land into a waterlogged chest that barely has any water, you'll be perfectly fine. Super weapons were created on this server. In 2B2T, there are overpowered weapons consisting of level 32,000 enchantments. These weapons are extremely powerful, being able to knock back players into unloaded chunks, have armor that'll make you invincible, and sharpness that'll instantly kill whatever you touch. This is a simple yet modern house. If you build 2 cubes on top like so, you can link them together with a water stream. This way, we'll be able to enter the second room whenever we want. It looks very modern and is very functional too. Hoglings have a strange texture very few people know of. If you look under its nose, you'll see that one nostril is bigger than the other. In 2017, Minecraft's name was changed. The phone edition used to be called Pocket Edition, but was changed to Bedrock Edition. The PC version was just called Minecraft, but changed to Java Edition. Many thought Mojang was doing this to eventually replace all of Minecraft with just Bedrock Edition, but it hasn't happened for now. Don't use this bed. On Beta 1.6 pre-release 3, if you use a bed on a server, it'll prevent you from ever waking up. It's like a permanent nightmare. What's the deadliest mob in Minecraft? You may think it's the Warden because it has 250 hearts, but it's not. Although it has a lot of HP, its Sonic Beam only does a maximum of 22.5 hearts of damage. The deadliest mob is actually the Charged Creeper. Their explosions do the most damage in the game at 64.75 hearts of damage. But if you're looking for a house that's hidden but not too small, try a 1 block tall house. To enter, use a trapdoor, and obviously you can't open a chest in here, so you have to use barrels. Although a little cramped, it's a pretty nice starter base. You can get negative items in Minecraft and it's overpowered. In version 1.8, place your desired item in the first slot of a chest, ignite nearby TNT, and then hover over the item in the chest and spam your number 1 key. If you're lucky, your item will now have a stack count of 0. From here, you can put this item in a dispenser and pop out unlimited items. This will cause the item in the dispenser to go negative. Water is impossible to place in the nether in newer versions of Minecraft. Psych! Just bring a cauldron to the nether and place some water. Or if you catch on fire, just splash yourself with a water bottle. Wanna get creative with your decorations? Mix item frames with mob heads and banners to create what looks like mob head posters. It's a fantastic way to add some unique flair to your base. Enchanting tables used to be made out of cobblestone instead of obsidian. They did look pretty cool though. What's crazier is that enchanting used to cost 50 experience levels instead of 30. That would take me weeks to enchant just a single item. I'm glad that it was changed. Have you ever wondered how spiders climb walls? It turns out that in the game code, spiders treat all walls like they have ladders on them. This makes a lot of sense. Can 1 pixel of water save you? If you place down chests like so, you can make it so only a pixel of water is touching the player. Then, if you drop down from the sky, you'll actually be able to live. The water can be exchanged out with a cobweb, which can save you from a fall as well. But how about a pixel of honey? Surprisingly, yes. It almost looks like you're just landing on the ground though. These may look like roses, but they're not. In 1.7, roses had their names and textures changed to poppies. Their texture was changed slightly, and what's even stranger was that now we have rose bushes, but no roses. Polar bears are very lonely, so let's live with them. You can actually build straight into an iceberg to create a cute little home. And if you're ever hungry, you can just step outside to go fishing. If you need a house quick, this will be an instant house. Just create the outline of your base using saplings and bone meal them. Once you clean up the leaves on the outside, you'll get an amazing shelter. Minecraft has had a ton of X-ray glitches that have gotten patched, but the one that lasted the longest is this one. If you go in F5 and increase your FOV, you can see through walls. If you want an even better view, you can shrink your Minecraft window, and you'll be able to see way more. Occasionally, piglins will try to hunt down hoglins, but most people don't know their secret ability. Piglins have a small chance to celebrate and dance after successfully hunting down a hoglin. You can also to run this command and you'll start dancing too. Could you have imagined villagers making no sound at all? Yeah, me neither. In 2011, when villagers were added, they were dead silent no matter what you did to them. The devs only fixed this in Java 1.6.1, and we finally got these sounds back. You may know that potions can be stored in cauldrons on the Bedrock edition, but something few people know is that the cauldrons will save the potion state. You can put throwable lingering potions inside it, and if you pick it back up from the cauldron, it'll still be lingering. Wet sponges instantly evaporate in the nether, so a fascinating experiment you can do is using commands to set block water in the nether above a sponge. It'll cause the water to infinitely flow downward and get evaporated by the sponge. A Warden's Sonic Boom bypasses armor and deals up to 7.5 hearts of damage. While that may seem overpowered already, we can gather a ton of Wardens together to create a death beam. It can absolutely annihilate the Wither with the combined ray. It's not even fair. If you name a sheep Jeb, its wool changes color. But what if there was an actual rainbow sheep? Well, in Minecraft Earth, they were a rare reward you could get. They acted similar to normal sheep, but if sheared them, it'd reveal a strange bald spot. Ew. But something even cooler are snow golems. They can actually be stacked on top of each other, and when hostile creatures come nearby, they'll rapid fire them, giving us a snowball machine gun. They won't do damage, but they are amazing to knock mobs far away from your house. Minecraft's textures are iconic because they're so simple, but you can completely change that. In Bedrock Edition, photorealistic maps were created using custom models from real life, and it's sometimes hard to even tell you're in Minecraft, but seeing these realistic corridors with Minecraft mobs looks pretty cursed. Sand normally falls down, but if you place them on torches, they'll float. You can stack them up really high, and once you have a pattern you're satisfied with, just break the bottom torch and watch it all crumble down. If a charged creeper is given invisibility, the blue aura can still be seen, so if you stack a bunch of them on top of each other, you'll get this beautiful beam of light. This is a creeper converter. When lightning strikes a creeper, it turns into a charged one. So if you build a chamber like this with a lightning rod in the middle, just throw a channeling trident at this lightning rod and it'll light up all the creepers. And if you throw the trident again, it'll kill them all. Skeletons are bow masters, but what happens if you give them a crossbow? You'd expect them to draw them back just like pillagers, but unfortunately, they're not smart enough and just try to whack you with it. Ouch! The Guardian's eye is following you. It looks pretty scary, but when you look at it from the side, you'll see it's just made from a long tunnel and the inside is filled with white maps. Still, it's kind of freaky the first time you see it. You may know about the snowy grass block, but did you know it has a secret twin? If you place snow on top of mycelium, it ends up looking just like snowy grass. And you can even see beneath it by using a debug stick. You can create a working mirror, sort of. Just place pigs on some stained glass, and then on the other side, you can place the pigs on top of barriers, then name them Dinnerbone. This will create an illusion of a mirror. Steve's hands used to be extremely useful. Before shears were introduced, you could obtain wool by just punching sheep. It's like his hands had scissors on them. TNT could also be lit by punching it, and the explosion can be cancelled by punching it again. The amplified world type in Minecraft creates massive terrain, but most people don't know it was created by accident when Jeb entered incorrect numbers into the world generation code. Everybody knows about Pact and Blue Ice, but there's actually another illegal ice type very few people know about. It's called Frosted Ice. It forms when you walk over water while wearing frost walker boots, but the crazy thing is that it's an actual item you can get. In the Bedrock edition, you can just slash, give it to yourself with commands, and when you place the block down, the frosted ice will crack away and turn into water. Amethyst geodes are a very beautiful structure. To turn it into a pretty house, just smooth out the entrance with some slabs and decorate the inside with glowberries and furniture. Most players think the only way to extinguish a campfire is with a water bucket, but there are two other awesome ways. You can actually do so by throwing a splash water bottle on it or just using a handy shovel. Back in 2012, you could create obsidian farms. A simple way to make this was by making a normal cobblestone generator, but placing redstone dust where the cobblestone would form. I can see why this strange bug was patched. This is a new way to draw in Minecraft. Using commands, you can make it so different colored items are dropped depending on what item you're holding. This way, you can create a beautiful looking drawing. Do you like it? Are you as tired of water freezing in cold biomes? You can try placing light sources like torches or glowstones, but they're ugly. Instead, you can use a waterlogged slab that'll never freeze. But it gets even better. Kelp can also be put inside water, and it also will no longer turn into ice. How do you die in spectator mode? Mobs can't attack you and TNT doesn't move you. So how? There are two ways. If you fly all the way down below the void, you'll meet your end. But also, you can just use the /kill command, but that's cheating. Tridents with the channeling enchantment strike lightning whenever it lands on a mob or lightning rod. Using this feature, channeling tridents can be placed on top of end rods and bounced up and down to create a lightning generator. You can then surround your entire base with these, and good luck to anyone trying to break in. Doors have small holes in them, but trying to shoot arrows through them doesn't work. work. You can even see the arrow poking through the other side. Trying it on fences and trapdoors also doesn't work. However, shooting arrows under the gaps of beds and the gap beneath cauldrons actually works. With 3 TNT, you can craft the Ethel slab. It functioned like a regular TNT. However, during explosions, it spawns an anvil over entities in the explosion range. It was found in the Minecraft 2.0 April Fool's update. Piglings hate when you steal from them. If you mine gold or even just open a chest, they'll come swinging at you. But something strange is that they'll even attack you if you even just open an ender chest. Hey, these are mine! End crystals make amazing defense because they explode instantly. You can set up the ultimate defense by aiming dispensers with snowballs at the end crystals. And whenever trespassers come by, flip the switch! Scaffolding can be placed up to 6 blocks out from its base. However, you used to be able to break the game by clicking super quickly to create gold scaffolding blocks. You could use this to walk further from the base. It's a client-side glitch, and from other players' perspective, it looks like you're just fly hacking. YouTuber Dream used this glitch to escape hunters who were trying to kill him. Campfires are great for smoke signals, but you can make them even better. To double their height, simply place a hay bale under it, and the smoke will double. You can use the smoke to come out of chimneys. Don't throw your trident. If you throw a trident in the end, it's easy to accidentally chuck it in the void. Even the loyalty enchantment can't save your trident from it. No, my precious trident! Foxes can actually get stuck in the snow. When foxes leap into the air to attack chickens, they won't always hit their target. Sometimes when they miss, their heads will be buried in snow, and they'll have to wiggle their feet to get out. The fire aspect book has a superpower. In the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, you can light a TNT by right-clicking it with the fire aspect book. You can also light the TNT with a fire aspect sword. I wish Java edition had this. There is one place the trap chests can generate naturally in Minecraft. You may think they are found in desert pyramids or even jungle temples, but that's not it. The only time trap chests generate naturally is in the fake end portal room in woodland mansions. Zombies aren't the smartest. Once a zombie locks on a target, he'll never give up. There can even be closer villagers nearby, and he still won't care. Striders need to touch lava or it will turn gray and take damage after a while. We can torture it thanks to this machine. A timer will make it so just enough lava is given to keep the strider alive. The strider will be constantly shivering for the rest of its life and getting occasional warmth. Water changes color depending on the biome, but in Bedrock edition, it gets even stranger. If you can glitch water in the nether, it'll be red. What if projectiles could bounce off slime blocks? Well, this mod makes it work. You can bounce arrows around corners or even throw ender pearls against walls. But what I love most is bouncing snowballs off close walls. They'll bounce back and forth rapidly. You can also toss a lot of potions to create these amazing curves. One of the best ways to hide your base is underwater because very few people actually check here. To make sure no one can find it, choose a spot that has a lot of seagrass and hide the base around the corner so no light goes through. Super secure and efficient. I love this house. It uses a modular design where you can stack different rooms on top of each other. Lecterns were used as the fencing, and the glass was alternated with panes. It gives the house a unique finish that most houses lack. Snowballs don't do any damage, and their entire purpose is to just deal knockback. However, they're actually broken. If you launch snowballs out of a dispenser, it won't deal any knockback. The same goes for a couple other projectiles like eggs, fireworks, and potions of harming. Dolphins are also acrobats. If you trap them in a small body of water, they can actually jump from one body of water to another. Water is special because when it collides with another water block, it'll create a new source block. So if you create an ocean-only world and erase a large section of it, the water will regenerate super quickly, and it's kinda cool. This is one of the strangest houses you'll ever see. It's a house made completely out of boats. You can do it by pushing boats on top of each other in survival or summoning the boats in creative mode. Although it looks simple, it's pretty tough to assemble. And if a creeper blows up nearby, it can completely destroy all your hard work. Goats can parkour. Turns out every once in a while, goats will jump and can easily cross 4 block gaps. But what's even more satisfying is that you can build an entire grid of goats. And by running this command, the goats will all jump across. Keep jumping. The Hovering Inferno is a blaze boss with body parts that look like shields used to defend itself. It spawns in a group of blazes in the nether and can send a shockwave attack. The mob was supposed to be added from Minecraft Live along with the other outvoted mobs, but there hasn't been any news on it yet. The Ender Dragon drops the most experience compared to any mob in the game, but how much does it drop? The dragon drops 12,000 XP when killed for the first time. This is enough to bring the player's level to a maximum of 64 levels, but if you respawn the dragon with end crystals, it'll only drop 500 XP points. Weighted pressure plates can be held down by item frames. If you place an item frame and then a pressure plate, nothing will happen at first, but if you walk over it, the pressure plate will stay down. Villagers love to sleep at night, but if you ring a bell, they'll get back up immediately. To prevent the villagers from sleeping, you can make this build with an observer and a bell that will not let the villagers sleep. Looks like the villager has to get back to work. Everyone knows the Wither is immune to arrows in its second phase, but I bet you didn't know fireworks will still damage it, so you can rapid-fire rockets at them still. You're done for. Did you know that to find a brown mushroom, a red mushroom needs to be struck by lightning, which is a very rare event. But another way of encountering a brown mushroom is by breeding it. But there's only a 1 in 1,024 chance for the baby mushroom to be brown. But what's even crazier is that on Snapshot 19W36A, fire, falling, and drowning damage were accidentally disabled by default. So by just changing your world to this version, you can become immune to all the elements without using any commands. This is the biggest discovery for Minecraft speedrunning. Normally sprinting uses up a lot of hunger, but there's actually a way to lose almost no hunger. If you sprint and then punch an entity, as long as you're still holding sprint, you can keep running forever while barely losing any hunger. This works in versions 1.7 to 1.18. There's a way to duplicate Dragon's Breath. If you look up at the dragon while it's perched and spam right-click using bottles, the breath would end up spreading all throughout the end island. You'd have enough dragon breath for years. But what's even stranger is if you drop a feather on top of a drip leaf, it'll collapse. However, if you drop an anvil on top, it'll be perfectly fine. You can even jump on top of the anvil and the dripstone will still hold you up. This is a snowball lag machine. Snowmen try to shoot a zombie, but before the snowballs hit, they get carried into a storage area by soul sand bubbles. There is no limit to how many snowballs can build up, and it can break your world with lag. This block is gone forever. During Minecraft's 10-year anniversary, Cake's got a special candle on top. However, a few days after the event, the candle would be deleted. You couldn't even change your computer's date to get them back. Dragon's Breath is extremely deadly, but there's a trick to take 0 damage from it. Just bring empty bottles, and when the dragon fires at you, right-click the Dragon's Breath as fast as possible. You'll bottle up all the breath, and it'll just vanish without harming you. What's the fastest way to loot a desert temple? Instead of slowly opening up all the chests, break all but one of the TNT at the bottom and activate it. Once it blows up, you can collect all the items along with the extra blocks to tower out. How do you put items on the ground? You could always just throw the item, but then it'd despawn. Instead, if you place an item frame, then a birch pressure plate, the frame blends right in. Place some more birch blocks around and you won't even be able to tell there's an item frame. What if torches burned out? Well, it was an actual idea that almost got implemented. After a certain period of time, torches would burn out and you'd have to relight them with flint and steel. Luckily, this idea was scrapped from user feedback. But that's not nearly as bad as using this contraption. It'll be a bit expensive, but if you fill the dispensers with harming and healing potions, you can alternate them, making the mobs take damage but never die. When Silk Touch was first added, using it on a spawner would actually work. Mining something like a zombie spawner would make the item drop, but when you placed it back down, something strange would happen. The spawner data will reset and would just turn into a pig spawner. Did you know it's possible to get slime balls in peaceful mode? Most people think that the only way to get slime balls is from slimes, but there is another way. Baby pandas have a 1 in 700 chance of sneezing and dropping a slime ball. Bless you. How do you get experience without hitting mobs? Most mobs don't drop experience if you don't hit them. However, there's a simple trick. You can use your dogs. Just stuff 2 dogs on the sides of your skeleton grinder and they'll kill the skeletons for you while dropping the experience. Keep working. Did you know it's impossible to breed polar bears? It's one of the few animals that can't be bred, so you can only find cubs naturally in the world. You also can't breed dolphins, which is quite a shame because I would love a dolphin army. Ravagers can break leaves and crops in Java Edition, but in Bedrock Edition, they're way more powerful. Ravagers can break blocks like pumpkins, saplings, sugarcane, and roses. Stop grieving me! If you're trying to make a cobblestone generator and keep messing up, just use a mangrove root. When you put water in roots, it acts like a container. This way, you can easily create a cobblestone generator. Beacon pyramids can be made out of any mineral blocks, whether it be gold, iron, diamonds, but the combinations can also be mixed. So the pyramid is made up of different ores. This way, you can fake a netherite beacon by just coating the outer layer. The chiseled stone brick is actually not centered. You can see the visual difference by placing a torch on top. I can't unsee this. Desert temples are nice, but there used to be ginormous pyramids. These were made completely out of bricks and were 64 blocks long and wide. While tons of people thought it was a bug, it was actually added on purpose. Bricks used to be impossible to craft, so these brick pyramids were a gold mine. What's weird though was that there were no runes inside, and a layer of dirt and stone extends all the way below it. Most people don't know this, but rabbits can actually eat crops. I don't mean handing the rabbit over some carrots, but if you leave your crops out in the open, rabbits can just walk over to it and munch it down. Foxes can also do this with berry bushes. Witches are pure evil. They always try to kill you. However, during raids, participating witches will seek out low-health illagers and ravagers to throw regeneration at them. I guess witches are nice to their friends. Foxes will try to hunt and kill chickens, but if you place lava above the chicken, when the fox jumps to kill it, the fox will burn completely. It's a great way to give them instant karma. And if you want to go even further, you can make a machine like this one that will push the fox back back each time it tries to jump after the chicken. Not today. Iron golems are one of the toughest mobs in the game, which is why they make a great defense. Once it turns night, just unleash the beasts, and they'll slay out any hostile creatures nearby. If you turn on subtitles, you can see what sounds are playing around you. This can be really useful when trying to find lava pools underground. But something cursed also happens when you spawn a guardian. Who decided to call the sound a moan? By dispensing diamonds at the wall of honey, they'll fall down in slow motion. The diamonds can then be routed back up with hoppers, so the items will rain down forever. Just watch out for pesky thieves. Hey, those are mine! This house will scare anyone. Use lava for the walls and fire for the roof. No one will want to enter this house. And if you get in, just throw a pearl inside. Everyone knows you can shift-click an item to move it across inventories, but there's another trick way less people know. If you hold shift and double-click the same item you're holding, it'll bring all the items of the same type across inventories. You may know jumping on top of spikes hurts you, but what if you reverse it? If you jump on a slime block and smash your head against a dripstone, you won't take any damage. My head hurts just looking at this though. But if you want a house no one can enter, try this lava base. You might notice that there are a bunch of dispensers placed around here. They are placed all around the house. Once you're inside the house, you can activate them with a lever, and the dispensers will all shoot out lava, surrounding your house with lava, ensuring maximum protection. You can do this very simply by connecting dispensers under the house to a redstone line. In Minecraft in-depth, before crafting tables were added, how did players craft? Well, you could actually just press the B key to bring up the crafting grid. That's cheating! If your friend ever steals your carrots, you can get revenge by giving him all the carrots he'll ever want. Cover his house all in item frames and fill them up with carrots. He'll be lagging and his house will look ugly. Will a totem of undying work on your head? If you use commands to put a totem on your head and die, it unfortunately won't work. The totem only activates if it's in one of your hand slots. When you try to sleep in the nether, it'll explode. But there's actually a way to sleep here. Players can't use the beds, but villagers can. They'll sleep just like normal if it's night in the overworld. You can craft hoppers with stone? In older versions of Minecraft, instead of using iron, stone was used instead. These hoppers could even be put in furnaces as a fuel. This makes no sense. Witches are invincible to this potion. If you throw instant harming potions at a witch, she'll be perfectly fine. She just drinks up healing potions. I even tried giving it poison and then spamming harming potions, but it still lived. Fine, you win this one. In version 1.8.4, dispensers could place down command blocks. Map makers loved this feature, but it ended up getting removed in the next update for a surprising reason. Command blocks normally can't be placed in survival, but hackers were able to use dispensers to place down command blocks and create a force OP exploit, giving them admin powers. Crossbows take forever to reload, but if you constantly give yourself a fully loaded crossbow, you can rapidly fire them like a machine gun. Get back, monsters! What will move diamonds faster? An allay, hoppers, or water? Starting from 32 blocks away, the water stream will come in first. The hopper second, and the allay was too far to even come. However, if we start from 16 blocks away, the allay is first, the water is second, and the hopper's third. I guess the allay is sorta useful. Water normally extinguishes fire, right? Well, most of the time, because you can shoot fire charges straight into bubble columns, and the fire charges will just float in the water. How is this even allowed? The endermite looks awfully suspicious to another mob. Well, turns out the endermite is just a retextured silverfish. That's a lot more purple. Dinnerbone name tags make mobs flip upside down, but will they sleep upside down as well? If you name a villager and set it to night, the villager will just go to sleep normally. But once it turns day again, the villager will wake up walking on its head. That must hurt. If you try to spawn both an iron and snow golem at the same time, only the snow golem will be spawned. This is the most valuable Minecraft account. The account deadmau5 has 3D year models coming out of the skin. It is completely unique and was a gift from the creator of Minecraft, Notch. If you set a ton of skulk sensors and iron trapdoors on top, you can create a beautiful wave. Throwing a single snowball down will create a ring of trapdoors, opening and closing. When the trapdoors close, they create sound, reactivating the starting skulk sensors and creating an infinite loop. We end up getting these crazy patterns. With the 1.18 Caves and Cliff update, these huge mountains are generated with caves underneath. You can hang a sphere house using grindstones and giant chains. It'll be a bit difficult to enter, but you can build a small entrance to drop down at the top. The hanging house is way too cool to not build. Glow sticks are only in the Education Edition, right? Not exactly, because on Bedrock version 1.17, if you went to a woodland mansion and found the fake portal room, you'll find something super secret inside the chest. For some reason, there will be an illegal glow stick here. The warden is way too powerful, but it has one weakness: sound. Therefore, if we want to bother it, we simply place some blocks with pressure plates and bells on top for it to walk toward. Once it reaches the end, it'll loop back around. Or with just some pistons and redstone, you can make the warden go side to side without stopping, following the sound of the pistons. You can brew potions with a crafting table. By crafting suspicious stew, you can get 9 different potion effects. The effect depends on the type of flower you use. Corn flowers result in jump boost. Alliums give you fire resistance, but one flower is special. If you craft the stew with a lily of the valley, you'll be given the poison effect. This is because the lily of the valley is poisonous in real life. This is evil! Separate 2 animals with a wall, and when you breed them, it'll actually work. Too bad the animals can't see each other though. A classic way to torture the Enderman is with rain. In spectator mode, you can click on the Enderman to see its perspective. Each time it rains, they have to teleport all around the world to find a safe route. You probably know that rain makes fishing more efficient, but how much more? If a bobber is directly exposed to the sky, rain will reduce fishing time by 25%. Crawling is normally so slow, but by building a 1-block tall tunnel, filling it with water, and trapping a dolphin nearby, you'll be given Dolphin's Grace, which will let you zoom through the tunnel. To make the travel method even faster, replace the floor with soul soil, and make sure your boots have depth strider and soul speed. Now, when you go through, you'll travel at light speed. Baby mobs are very attached to their parents. They will constantly try to follow them, which is very cute. But if you're looking for a good torture method, it's perfect. The machine makes it so the baby pig is constantly trying to go to the parents, but gets pushed back. You have to be an evil villain to use this. If you want a super cool way to defend your base, try this bomber plane. It duplicates TNT on any of your enemies below. The lily of the valley flower is very special. It's an optical illusion that looks the same from all angles. It's like the flower is always watching you. There's an infinite bone meal hack. To do so, you just use bone meal on a moss block and it'll sprout a bunch of mosses. You can mine it all and put it back into a composter, which will give slightly higher returns. Or you can just use a skeleton farm. There are 2 crops that can grow in the dark. Normally, shutting the lights off won't let crops grow. However, both sugarcane and mushroom can grow in pitch black. Minecraft has a history of adding secret textures into the game files. A few of these included 2 textures for sandstone that were added into one of the terrain files. Ultimately, these were replaced by the cut and chiseled sandstone textures we have today. Vindicators hate villagers. Knowing this, we can lock a villager in a minecart and spawn a Vindicator in the middle. This will cause a wild goose chase that will go on forever. Will a Vindicator run over magma to kill a villager? Surprisingly, he runs right through. But how about through fire? Yep, he really doesn't like villagers. If you create a powdered snow barrier, he'll even try running through, but will tragically fail. Lava will stop the Vindicator from even trying, but Drip Leaf is another story. He'll run right across to get the villager. Sea pickles may seem just like another decoration, but they're actually very useful. Their hitbox sizes are actually perfect for splitting items that go into a single water stream. If you have a brewing stand and need to fill up some bottles, a cool trick is using waterlogged slabs. From the outside, they'll just look like your normal floor, but right-clicking on them will fill up your bottles and buckets. As an added bonus, creepers won't blow up the floor. Trapdoors actually save an arrow's momentum. You can see this pretty easily if you shoot an arrow into a trapdoor and open it. The arrow will continue flying forward. But what's even crazier is that you can blast a bunch of TNT nearby to supercharge the arrow. The next person who opens the trapdoor will be a goner. What's the best wood in Minecraft? You probably think it's something like oak or cherry wood, but it's not even close. The best wood is actually bamboo, because it has an amazing ability. Bamboo can be completely automatically farmed with just a piston and observer, while other wood farms need to abuse TNT duping to destroy the wood, and thousands of bone meal to grow the sapling. A nether house isn't very scary, but to make it challenging to enter, have your house above lava and make the entrance on a tightrope far away. You have to be pretty good at balancing to make it to your base. Oops! Ah! The easiest way to make a wave machine is just by using a few powered rails and minecarts. It's already pretty satisfying, but you can level it up by extending it many layers. You'll get a much better wave. There's adoption in Minecraft? Well, sort of. Baby animals always follow a parent animal, but if you kill the parent, the baby animal will just start following a different parent. How tragic. A great way to make sure mobs can't enter your base is by using alternating fence types. Mobs won't be able to get through, but you'll be able to just walk around. Have you ever wondered what the rarest mob in Minecraft is? The brown mushroom, a charged creeper, or even a pink sheep? It's none of that. The rarest mob to ever exist is the Jolly Llama. These were one-time mobs added in Minecraft Earth and were only obtainable during Christmas 2019. To get it, you had to go to a specific statue in New York, London, or Sydney and scan a QR code. On second thought, that's way too much work. Before the aquatic update in 1.13, any items that you threw into the water would all float down to the bottom of the ocean floor. But nowadays, they all float up to the surface and bob in place. It's really helpful because oceans used to be so much darker. So if you lost your stuff down there, it was pretty much gone for good. When you looked inside the beacon beam, you used to see a white laser all around you. But in 1.15, this was changed, so now all you see are a few particles when looking down the beam. Bring it back. This is a hidden tunnel. It opens only when you're riding a minecart and holding a nether star. It's part of McMackenstein's secret door data pack, which adds other entrances as well, like this tree tree that turns on its side, a bed that opens downward, or this chest with the ladder inside. These hidden entrances are awesome. You can fall from a million blocks in the sky, and if you land in a single pixel of water, you'll be fine. But it wasn't always like this. Before update 1.4, jumping into shallow water would cause death, and if you wanted to survive or fall, you'd have to land into deeper water that could catch your fall. I'm glad this was changed because water bucket clutching wouldn't exist. But what's even crazier was the hanging root glitch. Just look at it. The dropped item was as big as a fully placed block. Luckily, in the next update, it was fixed and the hanging root was brought to normal size. Did you know this black and white cat is inspired from a Mojang employee's real-life cat? In 2012, Jeb added his own cat named Newton to the game, and a developer tweeted about it. Let me pet it! Whoops. This is a melon and ender pearl farm. Although a strange combination, it works surprisingly well. It combines a normal enderman farm with melons growing nearby. As endermen run to the kill chamber, they pick up the melons. This way you'll get full melon blocks instead of slices like in a normal melon farm. And what's even more broken was the end dimension on a snapshot. Entering the end would show random blocks scattered everywhere and missing chunks out of the island. Trying the nether wasn't any better. It'd have the same corrupted terrain. This happened when you joined a server on 12W49A. With just a piston, end rod, and some redstone, you can create the ultimate machine. Just put the sheep in a boat and activate the machine. But that's not all. You can also put the dinner bow name tag on the sheep. Tridents used to be extremely overpowered. If you threw a trident at a hanging sign, it'd get stuck there. The next player to walk nearby would be obliterated by lightning. Caves sticking out of mountains can be the perfect base. Make sure there's enough space inside and just place glass blocks on the outside and 2 doors. The Ender Dragon fight is pretty easy with the right tools, but on a 1.17 snapshot, the end island is completely broken. The end pillars generated inside the island, so for each crystal, you'll have to mine underground trying to guess where they are. Everyone knows fire burns forever on Netherrack, but there are 4 other blocks this happens on. The first 2 you probably know are Soul Sand and Soul Soil, which create an eternal blue flame. The third block with infinite fire is actually magma blocks, and the last one that is a bit more unknown is the bedrock with crystals in the end. When your tools hit 0 durability, they break. So how does this item exist? Mobs equipped with gear have a small chance to drop 0 durability items. Mojang even knows about this and said they won't fix it. There's a way to equip 127 diamond helmets. If you try to give yourself more than 64 of one item, it'll spread out in your inventory. However, you can actually summon an armor stand holding over 64 items with this command, and you can take the items from it. If you try to put on all the diamond helmets, it won't work. But you have to instead right-click the armor in your hotbar. This also works with other equipment like the chest plate and leggings. I'm undefeatable! The old end portal frames were illegal. In a 1.9 snapshot, end portals used to look like broken blue blocks. The block emitted a light level of 15, and what's stranger is that they could be dropped as an item due to explosions. The item form of the end portal was a flat texture and had no name. The composter is broken. It's supposed to convert plant scraps into bone meal, but something's missing. In real life, bamboo can be composted, but for some reason, you can't compost it in the game. What's even stranger is that on the Bedrock Edition, you can compost entire blocks of grass. Most of the time, name tags are needed to rename mobs, but you can use an anvil to rename an axolotl bucket and it'll rename the actual axolotl as well. Normally, flooding your house would be something you want to avoid, but doing so will actually make it so mobs don't spawn inside. However, if you're not looking to devalue your base, you can also just use slabs as the floor, and they'll work too. Lightning is notorious for burning down precious builds, but it also has a strange feature. If bamboo gets struck by lightning, it catches on fire, but if candles get struck, nothing happens. And if campfires get struck, a fire block is just on top. What in the world? But you can make a Five Nights at Freddy's head in survival. A leather helmet on an armor stand is used as the mouth, chest plates for years, a wither skull is set on the top of the head, and lastly, a brown wool block is squished in. Scary! Did you know that Deep Dark was initially going to be underwater? According to the original roadmap for the update, underwater lights, floating jellyfish, and even ghost blocks were in the works. However, since this didn't match the creepy theme of the Warden, it was never implemented. Give me a better trade. If your villagers aren't giving you good deals, you can give them a nice shake-up. A simple looping machine like this one with ice and pistons in each corner will do the trick. Just place a pressure plate, redstone repeaters, a piston, and slime block to create the ultimate setup. The villager can never get out, and it'll be super fun to watch. Minecarts float on bubble beams, and you can create some pretty cool contraptions with this feature. If you send a minecart going at fast enough speeds, it'll bounce across the water and then back onto rails. One of the least known Minecraft versions is the Pi Edition. It was made to run on small computers like the Raspberry Pi, but it had a special feature. Quartz blocks were added to this version before they were officially added to Java. Minecraft's recipe book has a secret Easter egg. If you search Excited ZE in the recipe book, it changes the game's language to pirate language. it. Arr, how do I change this back now? There used to be a secret Easter egg hidden inside the beacon. If you took a look at the texture file for the beacon beam, you could find map icons hidden inside of it. How strange is that? Smooth variants of blocks like quartz and sandstone have a higher blast resistance than their normal versions. For example, smooth quartz has a blast resistance of 6, while the normal block of quartz has a blast resistance of 0.8. You can get smooth blocks by putting the normal blocks in a furnace. If you don't have a flint and steel and need to light a campfire, you're in luck. In Bedrock Edition, by putting yourself on fire and walking over a campfire, it'll light it up. Ouch. When you sign a book, your username will be attached to it, but by using commands, you can set the author to anyone you want. It even works with Notch. You can create a satisfying arrow launcher. Just shoot a few dispensers downwards, break the blocks, letting the arrows fall, and once you flick the lever, all the arrows will fly upwards. If you connect it to a redstone clock, the arrows can even be juggled up and down. However, for ultimate satisfaction, place a TNT and light it to send all the arrows flying away. This next defense is unstoppable because Guardians have 100% accuracy and can be perched on top of towers like this to create Tesla beams. Anyone who comes nearby will be shot down. Another way to create a great attack tower is with wardens. By using bubble beams, you can actually bring the warden to the surface and trap them in attack towers where they'll shoot the most overpowered sonic boom. Potatoes are surprisingly powerful. Dropping dripstone onto it breaks. Anvils will break. Dragon eggs will break. And sand will break it. However, you can just jump and trample the crops. A splash water bottle will put out a fire, campfires, and candles, but for some reason, if you throw a ton at a torch, it'll continue to stay lit. What's faster? A brush with efficiency 255 or a normal golden shovel? The race starts off pretty close. However, the shovel begins to pull away. But there's a twist. The shovel breaks and the brush actually goes in for the win. When you kill most mobs, they'll go on their sides, but spiders are the only mob that does a 180-degree flip when it dies. This wall seems perfectly normal, but if you use a magical wand on it, the bricks will move apart, revealing a secret entrance. This amazing contraption was made by Mick Mackenstein, and once you cross the entrance, you can close it up, ensuring no one follows you. When you enter water, your FOB is actually lowered by 10. This is done to simulate light refraction from real life. Wandering traders always drink invisibility potions at night, but if you kill it mid-drink, there is an 8.5% chance that the potion will drop it. Gimme that! Village houses are everywhere. If you want to make them look fancier, add a window to the roof, some trapdoors or shutters, and in the front, make a small roof that'll block the rain. Baby mobs in Minecraft are normally friendly and don't do damage, but not baby polar bears. They're still ferocious and try to kill foxes in Java Edition. I wonder if it'll attack me. Whoops. Everyone knows that skulk sensors detect vibrations, but you can create a super overpowered trap by placing a ton of TNT underground with a skull sensor next to it. Make sure to walk away carefully, and the next bypasser to walk over will be dust. But to make any TNT trap 100 times deadlier, you can swap out TNT for a ton of TNT minecarts, and it'll create an instant explosion. You can use diamonds as fuel. If you just try to put diamonds in themselves, it won't work. However, jukeboxes actually cost 1 diamond to craft, and those can actually be used as a fuel. That is such a waste, though. Axolotls are magical creatures. If an axolotl takes damage underwater, it will play dead and give itself regeneration. The attacking mobs will also ignore it while it's playing dead. Axolotls can also save your life. When you assist in killing a mob, the axolotl will grant you regeneration and remove mining fatigue. Who knew axolotls were so powerful? There's a way to become invincible in survival. Blocking with a shield while entering a nether portal makes the shield continue to be held out even once you exit the portal. This allows you to both swing your sword at the same time as having your shield held up. Save your old bows. If your bows are running low on durability, don't throw them out. Instead, use them to craft dispensers, because you can use any durability bow for them. This mod allows you to have infinite render distance. You're able to see across your entire world, and it's not even that laggy. It works by prioritizing details of closer objects while reducing the detail of objects further away. It's a creative way to allow Minecraft to render all this terrain. Fire burns wood, but not this one. Note blocks are made out of wood and redstone, and it can catch on fire from lava, but never burn away. Mob heads are super easy to get, but how about the Steve head? You can clearly see it in the creative menu along with the other heads, but you can't find it almost anywhere in the world. Not even killing a Steve player will drop the skull. That's because it exists here, on the 1 block at a time update. Endermen can spawn with almost any random block in their hand. Eventually, one will spawn holding the Steve head, and you can snag it off the ground. How much water is in 1 bucket? This YouTuber tested it out by building a huge pyramid and then placing a water at the top. The single water block was able to fill this entire area, which makes no sense. The bubble column block is one of the most useful things for traveling upwards, but you used to be able to get the item. On Bedrock version 1.20.31, all you had to do was place a soul sand water block on top and lantern. If you break the lantern in the water and hold down your pickaxe, you'll be able to get the water column item. This happened because of a mining progress transfer glitch. This crossbow takes 70 years to reload. That's because the reload time starts going in reverse with any quick charge enchantment above level 5. And this crossbow is enchanted with quick charge level 6. Good luck trying to shoot me, pillager. You can spawn an iron golem upside down, but what happens when you try to spawn 2 golems with 1 pumpkin? The top golem only ends up getting spawned. If you try to spawn 2 withers at once, only 1 will spawn as well. In the earliest versions of the game, skeletons had a small chance to drop a quiver. This allowed you to shoot arrows without wasting arrows. However, this item was soon removed and the infinity enchantment was added with the same effect. Blazes constantly shoot fireballs, which make them amazing for defending your base. You can set them around your house as turrets and they'll light anyone who comes nearby on fire. If getting blazes is too hard, you can easily replace the blazes with skeletons and place lava in front of them, making them shoot flaming arrows to all intruders. This is a TNT slide. Click this lever to spawn a bunch of TNT. The TNT is special because it'll never ignite. It'll just gently flow down until it starts bouncing up and down. The wave almost looks like a really long snake, and when the TNT reaches the bottom, it'll drop off to the void. In giant spruce tree biomes, it's common to find very large trees. With these trees, we can make a simple platform using spruce wood, and on the inside, there's enough space for all the essentials. You can build this entire thing in just under 5 minutes, and it looks pretty good. Most people use obsidian to explosion-proof their builds, but there is a much better way. Try using leaves instead because you can waterlog them, making them completely blast-proof. Although this stone block doesn't look very impressive, we can level it up. By just carving in some stone stairs and adding some buttons, we can turn the simple cube into a house I'd love to live in. When Skulk breaks down, it drops some experience orbs. To break it instantly, use an efficiency 5 hoe, and you'll be able to shred through it all and experience these satisfying sounds. Clouds had a hidden texture. Back in InfDeb, an image called Luck was added to the files, but this was removed during the beginning of Alpha, and we never saw it again. What's the maximum amount of experience you can get in survival? The number is roughly 238 million levels. Once you hit it, your XP bar will disappear, not letting you get any more. You're definitely one of the best Minecrafters if this happens to you. However, there's a way to get more. Commands can be used to set your XP to the integer limit, and if you collect even a single more point of experience, your level will roll back to 0. No! All my hard work! You're able to send entities like boats and sheep through the end portal. Dream even sent primed TNT through it to explode hunters. However, one projectile you may not suspect is dripstone. If you drop a huge dripstone like this into the end portal and go through it, the dripstone will load in and end up killing you. Where is the treasure? If you're mining right on the X of a treasure map and still not finding it, here's a trick. Treasure will always spawn at 9 relative coordinates of a chunk. So, if you're having trouble, just check your relative coordinates and dig down at 9. But what's even better than a house above land is one underwater. By placing a conduit next to some prismarine blocks, you'll be able to breathe nearby and build a completely underwater house. It feels kind of illegal sleeping here though. You could spawn nether portals. In an old alpha version of Minecraft, pressing F4 would generate a portal where you were. While this was removed in the next update, it was one of the most broken features we've ever seen. If you place a lot of enchanting tables, the books will all follow you around. Looking at the tables from above, you can see a nice pattern. Furnaces have a secret power. Furnaces give a small amount of experience when you smelt items, but the experience is only dropped when you take out the item. So by taking the smelted items with a hopper, you can stack huge amounts of experience in the furnace. Once you manually take out an item, all the previously smelted items will give you a ton of XP. Dolphins are very helpful, but they used to break the game if you had them in a water stream next to a nether portal with items nearby. Once the dolphin was freed, it'd pick up the item and duplicate it. This was a pretty unique way to duplicate. You can make an indestructible wall. To create it, just use stairs and waterlog them with water. This will create a wall that TNT can't blow up. But if players try sneaking through, you can set observers on the other side rigged with a ton of TNT. TNT doesn't explode underwater, right? Wrong. You can make it explode by placing sand on top of it. When you light it, the sand falls down on the TNT, shielding it from water. Hoglings can be very annoying to kill, but good thing they're terrified of warp fungi. You can separate a baby hogling from its parents, and they'll both be too afraid to cross. Or you can make them go crazy by trapping them inside a box surrounded by warped fungi. This is what you get for hitting me. When you kill a strider, it for some reason drops string. But there's actually a really good reason for this. They drop string to explain how piglings crafted their crossbows. Giving a wolf maximum regeneration, health boost, and absorption effects makes its tail spin in circles. This is because tail angles represent a wolf's health. So stacking all these effects makes the tail go crazy. Man, this is cursed. These lava pools are amazing for hiding secret bases. The lava is held up by signs, allowing you to jump right through and into a pool of water. To make sure you don't take damage, jump from a higher point to gain momentum. Just make sure you jump into the right spot. Hot help! There are 4 enchantments you can put on the fishing rod, but how about the carrot on stick? When you try to enchant the carrot on stick in an enchanting table, nothing will happen. But on version 1.8.2 pre-6, there was a glitch where you could just combine an enchanted fishing rod with a carrot, and the enchantments would actually transfer. This is a mob launcher. You can build it with just a few pistons, redstone, and slime blocks. To activate, just press this button, and anything can be launched from zombies, witches, or even charged creepers. The first structure ever was the in-dev house. Back in 2009, Mojang was actually kind enough to spawn you inside a pre-built house. It was initially made out of mossy cobblestone, but was later changed to wooden planks, and the items it had inside were illegal. It had a bunch of items like lava and TNT with stacks of 99. Everyone knows shipwrecks have hidden loot inside, but turns out they have another use. If the shipwreck is close to the shore, you can actually extend it and turn it into a nice dock base. It makes a great vacation home. If you activated a nether reactor core in Minecraft Pocket Edition, the blocks around it would turn to glowing obsidian. What's pretty cool is that you could actually mine it in this state, and you could keep the glowing obsidian. I wish this still existed. The nether reactor core was added in the very first version of Pocket Edition and would spawn a giant pillar of obsidian. Inside of it, pigmen would spawn. Glowing obsidian would appear and items would pop up from the ground. Back then, the nether wasn't a thing, so the reactor allowed players to get nether items, glowstone, and netherrack. The interesting thing was that the reactor had a major update and would start creating netherrack pillars instead of obsidian. Bolts are supposed to negate all fall damage, but sometimes it for some reason doesn't work. This is because Minecraft's code is weird, and if you fall exactly 49 blocks off a boat, the boat just breaks and you end up dying. What's weirder is if you place one block higher to 50 blocks, you'll be perfectly fine. This game is so weird. When you hoe a dirt block, it turns into farmland, but have you ever wanted that item? If you try to pick it up, it'll just turn back into dirt. Silk Touch won't even work on it. So how do you get it? Well, you have to go to the one block at a time update, grab the farmland, and then chuck it on your head. When you transfer the world to the latest version, you'll have the item. You probably know that placing sand on top of TNT makes it explode underwater, but something lesser known is that other falling blocks work as well, like the dragon egg. Creepers are the worst, but they have one huge fear: cats. By executing a command, it's possible to tie all nearby cats to a single creeper. This will make it spend its entire life running. And if you don't want to use commands, you can create a simple maze like this, where cats will be at every corner. You can also make the creeper just run side to side, which looks very funny. Who wants the best level for finding ancient debris? There are actually two optimal levels. If you use strip mine, the best Y level would be at 15. But if you use explosions, the best Y level is at Y13. There's a way to harvest thousands of crops at once. Crops need light to survive, so if you turn off all lights once the crops are finished growing, all the crops will instantly break, saving you tons of time. Stop using fences. Instead, you should use trapdoors, because by placing them around mobs, you'll create a barrier that you can walk over, but the mobs can't. These sheep are not very smart. This is the greatest house I've ever seen. It may look normal at first, but once you take a closer look, you'll see it's made of tiny blocks. The illusion works by using a resource pack that turns all textures to be made out of blocks. Even catching on fire and mobs like the axolotl are made out of tiny blocks. It's impossible to stack totems, right? Well, there's a glitch to overstack almost any item in survival mode. It happens on version 1.12. All you have to do is drop the item and click the autocraft menu very quickly. Once you pick the item back up, it'll be stacked. The glitch works with all kinds of items, like swords and even helmets. One of the strangest structures was these glass pillars. Since Eyes of Enders weren't a thing, these massive pillars marked the location of strongholds, all the way back in Beta 1.9, and were massive. Jeb made an oopsie when he forgot to remove these debug pillars before releasing the version publicly. What's the smallest base in Minecraft? Well, this comes pretty close since it's only a 2x2x2 and fits all the resources you could ever need. Minecraft options won't go over a certain number, but with the sliders unlimited mod, we can change the options to go even higher. Want a render distance of 0? Now you can. Or how about an FOV over the limit? Your perspective will actually flip upside down. This mod completely breaks Minecraft's limits, and you can do some crazy things with it, even making light sources no longer work. Tents are a great portable shelter in real life, but in Minecraft, not so much. However, if you still want one, you can easily make one with some wool for the outside and a little campfire with chairs on the inside. The good thing about the campfire is that you can see the smoke from far away to find your base. Obsidian takes forever to mine, with even a diamond pick, but how long does it take with a fist? One obsidian takes 250 seconds to mine by hand, but if there is an Elder Guardian nearby, it'll take about 25.7 hours. Darn it, let me out of here. The most cursed block in Minecraft is probably the petrified oak slab. It looks just like a normal oak slab, but has to be mined with a pickaxe and won't burn. Monster spawners are very useful for EXP farmers, but what about a sign spawner? Well, in an older version of Minecraft, a sign spawner was mistakenly added because signs were treated as entities. These were later fixed and changed to pig spawners. You know what? Removing sign spawners is good because it's so cursed. Players are always looking for secret entrances, so you can prepare a fake fake one. It can be anything like a moving bookshelf door, but make sure it's somewhat obvious. When the button is pressed, instead of opening a door, an anvil is released from high up. Minecraft's villages used to look like this. Villages used to generate with gravel roads instead of dirt paths, and had these ugly box houses. They look like they were built by Can Man. What's the worst Minecraft update? Arguably, it's 1.9, as it completely changed the combat system. It made a stone axe stronger than a diamond sword, and introduced a cooldown system in PvP, so you had to wait in between each hit. Phantoms are super annoying and are a close second though. Don't drink this milk! It may look like a normal bucket, but it came from a squid. In beta versions of Minecraft, there was a bug that let you milk both cows and squids. Ew. If you rename a chest in an anvil, clicking into the GUI would show the new name. However, you can actually break this by renaming the chest to a super long name. Once you open it, you'll see the text spills outside of the screen. If you're feeling lazy, a super simple Minecraft base is just building an outer fence around your base. It'll stop mobs from entering for the most part. You just have to deal with pesky skeletons. Ouch! Saplings can't be grown when a block is on top of it. But what if I told you this wasn't true? Because if you place any type of log above the sapling, it'll still be able to grow right through. You can even have massive jungle trees growing straight through birch logs. Okay, this looks insane. This Minecraft seed has a mushroom island surrounded by every overworld biome in the game. You can find nearby villages, the deep dark and deserts. Just looking around from the center is insane. If you shrink yourself down with the scale attribute command, will you fit underneath a fence block? There's a huge gap underneath, but for some reason the player still can't go through. However, there's a 1 pixel gap for the honey block, and you can actually fit right through the small gap. You can even fit underneath the azalea bush. Ooh, creepers love to explode, but with this machine, you won't let them. Lead a creeper in the spot, and when it tries to explode, the trapdoor will get in the way and cancel the explosion. This machine makes me nervous, but it's also so satisfying. Dispensers can be used to dispense armor directly onto yourself, but something lesser known is that this works with horses as well. Just point dispensers at a horse, and you can equip saddles and horse armor. Talk about a quick wardrobe change. You can rain arrows on mobs. Most of the time, arrows do damage, but if you use healing arrows, you can rain down at your enemies forever. This way, the mob will feel the pain without dying. To make it last for such a long time, you can fill the dispensers to the brim with double chests and hoppers for extra backup. Then use healing arrows to rain pain onto your enemies forever without them dying. In Snapshot 15W31A, Mojang added one of the dumbest things possible. Usually to respawn the Ender Dragon, you have to use end crystals, which makes sense. But in this snapshot, you can just build a clay creeper face, and the Ender Dragon would respawn. I wonder who coded that. It's impossible to ride baby animals? Psych! When baby pigs were first added to Minecraft, you could saddle them up and ride on top. Move quicker! Okay, I see why this was removed. I've always wanted to live in a treehouse. To make one, simply use 4 jungle saplings to create a huge tree and build a ladder going all the way to the top. For the entrance, make sure you have a few trapdoors so mobs can't follow you up. If you throw a potion at a creeper and it explodes, a lingering potion will be left behind. Just a small sacrifice for sharing your potions. But something even more satisfying is this automatic cobblestone farm. Cobblestone will continuously form and get pushed by pistons. Once it enters the blast radius, a TNT will explode the cobblestone, which will then flow down to the collection system. The machine will run forever and generate infinite cobblestone. The only way to get barriers is in creative mode. Psych! There's a secret way to get them. Bastions were first added in the 20W16A snapshot, and a barrier block was accidentally placed. So if you went to this exact spot in the bastion and created a dispenser setup, you could switch to the 1 block at a time update and pick up the barrier. Then just update your world, and you'll have the barrier on your head. The blue axolotl is the rarest, having only a 1 in 2,000 chance of spawning with 2 red. But there's actually an axolotl type that's impossible to get. When axolotls were being showcased, a green one was shown. There was gameplay of it shown, but it never ended up getting added. Maybe it looked too much like a zombie fish. The fisherman would love this house. It's a pretty looking dock with campfires on the sides for added texture. And for his house, the fisherman can live in a beach house overlooking the sunset. Slimes actually move faster depending on their size, meaning if you summon a slime of size 8, it can outjump the player when sprinting. And the bigger you go, the faster they become. Ah, get away from me! Skeletons are a dangerous mob because they have aimbot. But did you know a skeleton can actually shoot itself? And no, I don't mean a skeleton shooting another skeleton. If a skeleton aims directly vertical, the arrow will fly into the sky and land right down on itself. How tragic. Minecraft's menu screen can have all sorts of cool splash tags. However, all references mentioning Notch, the creator of the game, were removed, like made by Notch. Don't break this block. Well, unless you want to be extremely satisfied. These amethyst blocks will instantly regenerate, and with an efficiency 10 pickaxe, you can break them very quickly. Vertical slabs are in Minecraft. By placing redstone blocks on either side of a stone wall and TNT on those blocks, the wall will stretch to look like a vertical slab. Although not too practical, it's still still pretty cool. The only way to get name tags is from loot chests, but there's a way to duplicate them. If you name a big slime with a name tag and then kill it, each one of the baby slimes will have the same name as the parent slime. When you finish a raid, you'll get the hero of the village effect for killing all the pillagers. But Minecraft lets you do something cursed. You can slash effect the pillagers around you to have the hero of the village effect. How do you travel through the ground? Place rails leading to a soul sand block with a connected rail below, and your minecart will travel straight through. This doesn't make sense. Horses and pigs were actually meant to have their own saddles. Horse saddles were added for one snapshot alone, and were pretty much removed instantly in the next update. Now, both horses and pigs use the same saddle, which is pretty convenient. You can climb up to 4-block tall pointed dripstone blocks. This is an ultra-efficient staircase. Endermen don't take projectile damage. They'll teleport out of the way if you try to snowball or bow them. Even if they have nowhere to teleport, the projectile will just hover on top of them. However, a projectile that can hit them is the dripstone. I finally got you! This is a pearl spear. You can make it with only 2 command blocks. The armor stand in the middle is rotated, and the ender pearls are summoned where it's looking. Once the armor stand finishes, you'll have a floating ender pearl spear. But it gets even better. If you light a TNT in the center of it, all the pearls will burst outwards, creating this beautiful effect. We've all built a dirt hut before when we were noobs, but now we can take it to the next level. Dirt huts can look surprisingly stylish if you decorate the outside with azalea bushes, moss, and leaves. This hut looks better than most players' builds. Minecraft dogs are super weak, so this developer decided to give them a slight buff with a data pack. Just throw an enchanted golden apple to supercharge your dog, and it'll slice through all your enemies. Just a slight buff, nothing too overpowered. Using ender pearls, you can teleport through walls, so always make them 2 blocks thick, or make sure to trap the other side if you don't want players sneaking through. If you wanted a cat in older versions of Minecraft, you had to explore the jungles and find an ocelot. These quick animals would have to be fed fish, and then they'll magically turn into a cat. This feature was eventually changed, and now you can just find abandoned cats in villages to tame. I never knew you could do this. Tridents aren't just good for shooting mobs. They have a secret ability. When you throw a trident at a dripstone, it'll cause it to break and fall down. The NPC is great, but this mob is even better. This mob is the agent, and it can be coded to break blocks, build and collect blocks. Just press C on your keyboard to open the code editor, and you can make the agent do whatever you want. Alright, the robot player should find that diamond. I can't code! The symbols on end crystals may look random, but they actually spell something pretty interesting. When you rearrange the symbols, they spell out Mojang. By leading a mob and then attaching it to a fence, you can make it look like the tent is being held up by ropes. The mob underneath is probably not enjoying its job, though. How are these rails floating in the air? There aren't any barrier blocks or anything in between, but it was done using sticky pistons. Minecart rails can be elevated if you pull up the middle rail. It looks pretty cursed, and is a pretty harmless way to break Minecraft. Foxes had a bit of a rough start in the Minecraft journey. Originally, their textures were all messed up when they were being coded. It was so wild that it was shared in a development video. If you're feeling a little cold, this'll warm you up. Just slap a bed down inside a pool of lava, and you won't take any damage. And while being warmed up, just make sure you get out quickly. Ouch! Hot, hot! Steve is the most powerful character ever. He never uses the restroom, which is super weird. He can even eat a million cakes and nothing will happen. There were rumors and jokes of adding a toilet into Minecraft, but Mojang has said things like toilets are too realistic. In 1.20.2, you can now put up to 64 items inside decorated pots. Only one type of item can be put in at a time, and when you're done, you can crack open the pot with an arrow. With 8 chiseled stone bricks and a netherite, you'll craft the lodestone block. Most people don't know that if you right-click it with a compass, then the compass will start pointing at the block. You can't place water in the nether, right? Well, not exactly. There's actually a secret way to place water. And no, I'm not talking about a cauldron. In this 1.17 snapshot, placing glow lichen in lava for some reason formed water. You could then flood the nether and even grow crops. But if you want an even cooler house, you can build straight into an ice spike. To get inside, you can create a bubble beam elevator, blasting you upwards. It's especially good since most mobs will have trouble reaching you this high up. I'm unstoppable! By placing 2 honey blocks side by side, there is actually a small gap you can shoot arrows through. If you don't have honey blocks, this can also be done with just a pot next to a block and shooting through the sides of that. Something pretty satisfying is that a button perfectly fits on a dropper's mouth. This is perfect. This is a laser door. By using some redstone, fence gates, and beacons, you can create a security door that looks like lasers are blocking the way. When you turn it off, the beacon turns off and the fence gates beneath the snow open, allowing you to cross. If you want to melt ice or snow, most people use something like a torch, but now there's something even better, a heat block. It's a way to melt snow and ice without creating light. So if you're trying to make a mob farm in a cold biome, this block is amazing for not having the water freeze. There's regular stained and tinted glass, but now there's a 4th type, hardened glass. It's a special type of glass because it's resistant to TNT. It can be as close as 2 blocks away and still survive an explosion. In survival mode, hardened glass can be mined with your fist and you'll still get the item. So how do you make it? In a crafting table, just combine aluminum oxide, boron trioxide, glass, and you'll get the item. The same recipe works for stained glass as well. If you name a Vindicator Johnny, it goes crazy and attacks any nearby mob. But it's actually pretty useful. You can use this crazy Vindicator to attack animals and create a passive mob farm. Voice chat in Minecraft would be the most insane feature, letting you trash talk enemies to coordinate with teammates. However, a Mojang director has said we have no plans to add it, as there are other services you can use. So it seems like we'll all still use our favorite voice chat service, Skype. You can detect thieves with an enchanting table. The book on top of enchanting tables always turns to the nearest player, so next time your friend is snooping around invisible, you can catch them with the direction of the book. I'll never be robbed again. Damn it, Terry! With the element constructor, you can create elements out of thin air. Just select the number of protons, electrons, and neutrons to create any element. If you wanted to create nitrogen, you'd select 7 for each category, and you'd have 64 nitrogen items. The constructor block is overpowered because it doesn't require any item to use, so you have unlimited elements. I wonder if I can create gold. I guess the gold element is close enough. Obviously, we can't be selfish and not make a house for our pets. For our dogs, we can create a simple one using a few stairs and trapdoors. The dog can stay in there when it rains. For our parrots, we can create a small house for them on top of fences. Or you can even push a glass block on top of the parrot to create a glass cage. If you give yourself a potion in creative mode, you'll get an uncraftable potion. But there is one place where you can get it. This potion can appear in survival in the achievement window for local brewery. What causes the biggest explosion? End crystals, withers, maybe even TNT minecarts. Well, it's actually none of them. The largest explosions come from fireballs, because unlike other explosions, you can set the explosion power using commands. They're so powerful that they can even blow up water. But if you set the power too high, your game will crash, so be careful. When items get stuck in the ground, they float to the top. Using this mechanic, we can actually create an item too. Just point a dispenser up and place a pillar of glass blocks. Any dispensed item will travel up the glass like a working tube. The most satisfying way to break Minecraft is with illegal enchantments. By using commands, you can put Fortune 1000 on a pickaxe, and mining diamonds will drop a ton. You can also put looting 1000 on your swords to get pork chops for years. This is the life. When you lead a mob, the lead may appear to be attached to your hand, but it's not. The lead is instead attached to a small portion of your back. It looks very painful. The barnacle should have been in Minecraft. It was a squid-like ocean creature that chased players in water or boats. The barnacle will suck players down underwater and drown them. Eek! This was another outvoted mob from the 2017 Minecraft line. Powdered snow makes you freeze when inside of it, but what's strange is that if you put it inside of a cauldron and get inside, nothing will happen. You can make the end look super pretty. Night vision in the end creates a beautiful pink sky. It looks awfully nice for housing the final boss. In Minecraft, there are many lakes and rivers. In one of them, we can build a house connected to the riverbank. The house will look very stylish and fit in with the environment. In 2018, Minecraft held a cat vote to add a 9th cat skin to the game. The 3 cats that made it to the final vote were Jelly, Zach, and Coco. In the end, Jelly would end up winning, which is actually the YouTuber Good Times with Scars cat. I'm just glad the middle cat didn't win. While most speedrunners use beds to quickly kill the Ender Dragon, there was a much quicker method. In 1.17, if you placed an end crystal, as soon as you entered the end, the dragon would instantly be killed. Light blocks are the ultimate tool for insane builds in Minecraft. With them, you can recreate masterpiece paintings, entire galaxies. The possibilities are endless. The only thing holding builders back is that light is only white. Can you imagine how epic builds would be with colored lighting? The insane builds from it would be amazing. Sadly, colored lighting would destroy most of our computers, as lighting takes up a lot of resources. But if you play Bedrock Edition, you can always just turn on RTX mode and have your computer explode. When someone enters an end gateway, a purple beacon light activates. So if your friend tries to sneak away and steal all the elytras, you'd know it. But items can also be thrown into the gateway to trick your friends. Something even crazier was this OP crafting recipe. From version 1.3 to 1.8, the crafting recipe for enchanted golden apples was 8 gold blocks and an apple. Mojang realized how broken this was, especially with gold farms existing, so the recipe was removed completely. You're falling in the air but don't have a bucket? Luckily, you have a potion of levitation, because by perfectly timing the potion just before you hit the ground, you can save yourself. Close one. When you attach a sign to the wall, it might appear to be placed on it, but if you look closely, there's actually a small gap between the sign and the wall. The small gap can even be right-clicked on to add text there. Minecraft's old fish texture used to look like this, but there is still one place you can't find it. The Fisherman's Village has their old raw fish tied to its waist. Phantoms are super annoying, so a lot of servers have them disabled disabled. This means you can't get phantom membranes and slow-falling potions. Or can you? Because there is one other way to get membranes, but it uses one of the least known mechanics in Minecraft. First, you need to tame a cat, and when you sleep, it'll have a 70% chance to bring you a gift in the morning. The gifts include items like string, feathers, rabbit's foot, or even membranes. So if phantoms are disabled in your world, you can still get the membranes from cats. You have access to every single element in the periodic table. These elements are very important. They can be placed as blocks or even used as giant signs. When punched with your fist, they break instantly. However, their most important purpose is for creating the new items and chemicals. Traveling at night is extremely dangerous because mobs can sneak up on you from anywhere. There's a solution though. If you bring a parrot with you, it can actually imitate the sounds of nearby mobs, alerting you of hostile mobs. Yes, no mobs will ever sneak up on me again. Okay, maybe it's not perfect, but it's still pretty cool. Redstone torches can surprisingly run out of power. When toggled rapidly, redstone torches burn out and release a puff of smoke. Luckily, this burnout is temporary, and after 3 seconds, your torch should be functioning like normal again. Darn! So that's why my piston kept breaking. It's always satisfying to kill a ton of mobs using Sweeping Edge, but if you use commands to spawn a ton of mobs in a single block and kill them, they'll form beautiful patterns when they die. This is a quintuple pig spawner. It's one of the rarest glitches to occur. The glitch happens on this seed on version 1.16. Minecraft bees are super realistic. When you get stung by a bee, their stinger remains inside you. You can go invisible to better see the stingers. That looks painful. Have you ever wished cauldrons were more useful? Well, in the Bedrock edition to Minecraft, you can actually use cauldrons to dye leather armor. Whenever you want a change in style, just clean off the armor in a cauldron and re-dye it to a different color. Finally, cauldrons are more than just a giant toilet. Bedrock is the strongest block in all of Minecraft, but on this seed, a fossil generated, completely breaking through the world and revealing the void. If you ever want to get your villagers to go back inside, just ring a bell and watch the villagers scatter into their homes. Additionally, ringing a bell during raids will highlight all remaining enemies, helping you take out all the foes and save the village. There you are. Instead of taking boring screenshots, you can use the camera item to take gorgeous photos. To use it, just hold down right-click and release the snap the photo. But what if you want to be in the photo? Well, you can place the camera down, and once you right-click it, the camera will follow you around, making sure you're centered. We all know the water bucket clutch, but what if you could clutch without any items? Well, you can in single player. If you sprint off a ledge, that's over 35 blocks tall. Hold jump in the air and sneak right before you hit the ground. You won't take any fall damage. I have no clue why this works, but it does. I'll never die again. Did you know spiders in Minecraft are slightly hovering over the ground? They're actually not touching it. This feature breaks Minecraft. This is because the game can't handle extremely large numbers. So if you die with over 21,863 XP levels, you'll have a negative game score. This is so cursed. You can actually melt snow with a fishing rod. By throwing a fishing rod through lava, the bobber is lit on fire, melting any snow it touches. Not only is it super cool, but it also has a super satisfying sound. You probably know that to make snow golems and iron golems, you need a carved pumpkin, but another secret block actually works. You may think it's the normal pumpkin, but that surprisingly doesn't work. The other block that works is the jack-o'-lantern. Don't break any blocks on this world. If you touch even one, the entire world will fall apart. This is because the world is entirely sand with no blocks underneath. So if you break just one, it'll update the rest, creating a satisfying 5 seconds and a broken world. All the way until version 1.8.9, for some reason, eggs and snowballs both deal damage to the Ender Dragon, and you can actually kill it with them. They didn't work on other mobs, just the Ender Dragon. Who knew the dragon's weakness was eggs and snowballs? How much durability do I have left? Most people don't know that you actually press F3 and H to enable advanced tooltips and show exact durability left. By placing some trapdoors and redstones, you can make a lava bridge. If anyone is trying to chase you from behind, just flick the switch and send them falling. The turtle cape was an extremely exclusive cape that got removed. Only 2 players ever had it, and they got it for their suggestions to add the turtle to the game. However, their capes were later removed for unknown reasons. Obsidian is impossible to blow up, right? Well, not exactly. You may be thinking the only option is to use TNT, but that won't work. Not even gassed fireballs. The only explosion that can blow up obsidian is from the Wither. The blue Wither skull is the only explosion that can blow up obsidian according to the game code. How are these squids flying? Squids are meant for water, but with this glitch, they'll soar through the sky. To do this, cram a bunch of squids in a tight area and immediately they'll phase through the walls and glow. Glow squids can do this too, and it looks very cool at night. You can climb up hundreds of blocks with just 2 items, powdered snow and leather boots. While wearing leather boots, you won't fall through the powdered snow and will be able to continue climbing without leaving a trail. If you die on this strange Minecraft version, you'll be put in a limbo state where you'll be stuck inside your own body. Going into the third-person perspective, you'll see that your movements aren't attached to your character at all. Although you can't move around, you can actually attack yourself and get this cursed death message. How do you get the uncraftable potion? You probably have seen it once or twice in the achievement menu, but what about getting the actual item? One way is by just giving yourself a potion. But if you don't want to be a cheater, just go to the 3D shareware update and you'll find the uncraftable potion in one of the barrels. When wandering traders initially spawn, they'll walk towards the nearest bell if it exists within 48 blocks. You can use this feature to make a super simple wandering trader farm where the trader will walk towards a bell and then be transferred to the nether. While this farm may seem completely useless, it can be used to bring a bunch of llamas and leads. Alex and Steve can change height in Bedrock Edition. Just go into the character creator where you can select the smallest height. This seems overpowered in PvP. Mining fatigue is the worst, so when sailing over oceans, watch out for monuments because even briefly floating over them can give you mining fatigue. Bedrock is impossible to mine, but if you throw bedrock at a cactus, it'll actually destroy it. Netherite also is impossible to burn, but will get deleted by a cactus. The true strongest item is apparently these plants. The compound creator block lets you form over 30 unique substances, such as latex, soap, and salt. By combining different elements in the grid, you'll unlock these incredible materials. For example, mixing H2O will result in water. The fascinating thing is that the recipes are shapeless, so it doesn't matter where you put the elements in the table. The compound will still form. These specialized materials aren't available in the creative menu, so you need the compound creator block to get them. When foxes hold items in their mouth, they're actually holding the item in their hand slot, according to the game code. This means if a fox hits you with a fire aspect sword, it'll light you ablaze, or if it's holding a totem of undying, it'll survive death. You win this time. In Bedrock Edition, there are unused texture files named Hoglin Meat Raw and Hoglin Meat Cooked. They're textured identically to raw and cooked beef. Maybe they were originally supposed to drop a new type of meat. There's a way to have looting bows in survival. It's impossible to put looting on your bow normally, but if you hold a looting sword in your main hand and bow in offhand, the looting effect will apply. What's crazier is that the looting glitch also works with snowballs, so you can get extra blaze rods in the nether. By throwing a snowball at a group of wardens, they'll all huddle towards the sound and form a circle with their antennas, lighting up in a ripple pattern. I think they may be getting annoyed. To prevent players from destroying your security house, use this. Elder Guardians give mining fatigue to all players in a 50-block radius, so anyone trying to destroy your beautiful builds won't have a very good time. Well, unless they have TNT. Gosh darn it. Minecarts are very slow, and if you ever tried to make minecarts go faster by sprinting, you'd be saddened to know sprinting just changes your FOV in vehicles and doesn't actually make you go faster. The same thing for boats, horses, pigs. My life is a lie. Have you ever noticed you can craft books in the crafting table any way you want? The recipes are shapeless, meaning you can place the ingredients however you like. It also works for flint and steel, as well as beetroot soup. Now this is very cursed. Minecraft's original name was Cave Game, but was later changed to Minecraft in 2009. Some people have suggested changing the name back to Cave Game, but it was shut down. Minecraft is a bit too iconic to change now. Can you imagine riding dolphins in Minecraft? We could be surfing sparkling sea waves and gliding through coral reefs. It would open up a whole new world of ocean exploration. Mojang said it will not happen, and my best guess is that they don't want to be another sea world. PETA might come after Mojang. If you place string on top of lava, for some reason, it won't make any sounds. This way you can prank your friends and lead them to lava. Are you always getting lost while mining for diamonds and gold? Well, you would have loved this epic feature, Ghost Miners. They were supposed to lead you through caves and help you find ores and mine shafts. Ghosts are banned in Chinese media, so I'm not surprised this mob was rejected. It'd also be a little strange seeing another player in your world when you're on single player. Cauldrons left in the rain will fill up with water, but if it is filled up with potions, the water level won't go up. The furnace has unlimited fuel. Furnaces are really useful, but the problem is that you need to constantly refuel them. Luckily, you can make a carpet duper to infinitely fuel your furnaces. This contraption generates carpets at super speeds and lets you cook as many pork chops as you want. No more mining for coal or burning wood. Zombies have a secret ability. They can call other zombies within 100 blocks to help in battle. Within seconds, more zombies will pursue you. The best way to prevent this is to kill the zombie as quickly as possible. Damaged husks, drowned, and zombified piglings have the same ability to call other undead zombies, so make sure to take them out hastily. Dolphins are extremely intelligent. If you feed it a fish, the dolphin will show you to the nearest treasure to thank you. So nice! A single bite bucket of water can hold enough water to flood the entire world. Placing water at the top of a large lava pathway will turn all the lava to obsidian. Just a single bucket of water is able to do all this. Have you seen those stylish villager outfits, books on their heads and fur coats? Who designed those cutting-edge fashions? Mojang revealed villagers were inspired by a Gucci fashion show. How did villagers end up dressed better than me? You can turn pillagers into peaceful mobs by taking enough shots from a pillager. Its crossbow will eventually break. Helpless without their crossbows, the once fearsome pillager turned tail into peaceful wanderers. I guess we're friends now. This is revenge. With just a skeleton, some TNT, lava, and a herd of creepers, you can create an entire farm of music discs. When the skeleton shoots an arrow, it'll catch on fire and ignite the TNT. Every creeper blown up by the TNT will drop a music disc. I got so many discs they call me Little Prism. If you want to send a redstone signal upwards, you have to make complex systems or pathways like these. But what if redstone could be placed on walls? This would save so much time and make redstone a lot simpler. Unfortunately, Mojang says it's too unrealistic and it's redstone dust and not actual wires. Wait then, how is this possible? Minecraft rain doesn't fall from the clouds, it just appears out of the sky. If you try to find the source of it by flying or teleporting up, the rain texture starts to distort and turn into dissolved white lines. This is so weird. Can you spawn a wither underwater? Well, when you try to do so, you'll see the bubble beams push the skulls right off. Even if you manage to place all three down quickly enough, it won't work. You'll have to build a small room to spawn the wither, and the wither actually doesn't drown, so it'll just swim around and take out all the ocean mobs. If you ever wanted to fly long distances but didn't have fireworks, you'll want to know this. You can combine slow-falling portions with an elytra for insanely long flights. Although slower than fireworks, it is very efficient compared to it. This allows you to travel extreme distances with only one glide. Minecraft likes to reuse a lot of textures, but did you know the respawn anchor was actually reusing something as well? The respawn anchor sound is actually just the nether portal sound reversed. This barren wasteland has no life, but if you place a single grass block, it'll gradually spread across the entire world. But to make it extra satisfying, you can also place a mycelium on one half and grass on the other half. The two blocks will have an epic grass versus mycelium war. Minecraft had a secret version called Survival Test. This was the first version of survival mode, and it had a lot of strange features. In this version, items stacked up to 99, mobs spawned with plate armor, and pigs dropped mushrooms. Stop breaking blocks. How do you stop players from griefing? The answer is the new restriction block. The allow block makes it so that players can only build on top of them. The deny block prevents players from building on top, and the border block makes it so that players can't cross. It doesn't matter how high or low you are, the border will prevent you from going through no matter what. Well, unless you have ender pearls. Can't trap me. Minecraft has spider, chicken, and ravager jockeys, but why not dolphin jockeys? It'd be super exciting as a concept with drowned mobs riding on top of a dolphin and wielding a trident. Although it may be a little difficult to fight, I think it'd make a great foe for Minecraft. Too bad Mojang has said it's definitely not happening. Fireflies were supposed to sparkle in the dark. The frogs would snap the glowing bugs right out of the air with their long tongues. How cool would it have been to see frogs leaping and catching fireflies? However, once Mojang found out fireflies are poisonous to frogs, they canceled the idea. Rest in peace, fireflies. Did you know mobs can still see you when invisible? Instead of hiding you completely, the effect makes it so that mobs detect you at 7% of their usual range. Each armor piece also increases the detection range by 17.5%. So if you get too close or wear too much armor, the mobs will still come after you. Pigling bartering is super overpowered, but it's so slow. Luckily, Bedrock Edition pros found a way to speed it up by 100 times. All you need to do is grab a sticky piston and a gold block and hook it up to a super fast clock. Then when you drop the gold, the pigling will pick a piece of gold up every time the block moves, giving you supercharged trading. Finally, infinite gravel. Just what I've always wanted. In Bedrock Edition, you're able to leash boats. So if you put two villagers in a boat and then tie it to a fence post, they'll start bouncing up and down. These villagers probably aren't having very much fun, but it's interesting to look at.
I bet.
This is the most embarrassing way to die. If you punch an armor stand with Thorn's armor, you end up taking damage. And if you keep doing it, you'll get this embarrassing death message. Dogs are normally man's best friend, but sometimes they make mistakes. Teach them a lesson by jump scaring them with a skeleton. Then when they run to the other side, a block is shoved in their face and a skeleton appears on the other side, causing it to run back and forth. Before the 1.9 update, there were 30 unused potions, some of which were the Foul Potion, Thin Potion, and Sparkling Potion. They had no effect and appeared to be retextures of other potions. I wish they were added still. Imagine drinking a stinky potion. Before redstone dust, there were gears. Gears were supposed to be used for creating cool contraptions. They could even be placed on walls, but they were later replaced with redstone dust. I think it makes more sense, since you can just find it as an ore underground. Imagine mining for gears. Iron golems will take take down zombies, but will it attack a giant? Giants have no AI and just stand there. But unexpectedly, the iron golem will try to kill the giant. This is because giants are classified as hostile creatures by the game's code. The double chest is nice, but the quad chest is even better. In older versions, you couldn't place more than 2 chests together. However, if you use the set block command, you could force another chest down. Doing so would reveal 3 inventories worth of storage. You can take this even further and set block 4 chests, creating a quintuple chest. There's so much storage that it gets cut off by the screen. Imagine running through caves and finding a scattered skeleton body. Skeleton bodies would randomly scatter throughout your world and would be a cool Easter egg whenever you found one. They were determined to not be a good fit for Minecraft and won't be added. Before furnaces were added to the game, how did players smelt ores? To smelt, it was actually pretty cool. Players just threw the ores at the ground and lit them on fire. That's way quicker than furnaces. I wish that still existed. Pickaxes are super useful for mining, but they're even better for farming. Using a fortune enchanted pickaxe or crops makes them actually drop more. On top of that, for some reason, pickaxes don't break if you use them to harvest crops, so you can harvest potatoes forever. If you're fighting a zombie and more seem to appear out of nowhere, this is because you're fighting a leader. They have a 5% chance of spawning, and when attacked, they'll summon reinforcement zombies. Everyone knows you can see through a creeper's eyes in spectator mode. However, there's a glitch you can do with it. If you slash kill yourself while inside the creeper, you'll respawn and be stuck with creeper vision. Luckily, there is an easy way to fix this. Just press F4 and you can toggle the effect off and on. While not too useful, it's a cool trick to show your friend. Fireworks are great, but there's now an exciting alternative. Sparklers. These flashy items look like lightsabers, but once you light them, a bunch of glow particles will come out. You can see how long the sparkler has left by its durability. But if you enter water with a lit sparkler, it's destroyed immediately. So stay dry. There are 5 different color variants, and you can craft them with a stick, magnesium, and any of these chlorides. This will scare your dogs for sure. Lava will fall towards your dogs, but it will always stop just before burning your dogs. To make this, you just need a simple clock using repeaters, but make sure to set the timings right or whoops! Dripstone can be very dangerous. If it falls from 40 blocks, it does maximum damage. And if you drop it down an end portal, whoever enters next and loads the end will be met with an unpleasant surprise. Watch your head. Illusioners are a hidden mob you can only spawn using commands when you hit them. They spawn fake clones around it to distract you. But if you trap an illusioner in a boat, its clones will also be seated and it'll hold its bow sideways with its arms going through its chest. Ouch! Minecraft's sun is unrealistic, but not because it's a cube. When you look straight into it, nothing happens. In real life, you'd have permanent eye damage. Okay, maybe it's a good thing your eyes don't burn in Minecraft. I wonder what'll happen if you look at the sun with a spyglass. Ouch! The nether portal can't be lit in the end, which makes sense. But if you cheat in a nether portal block, then it'll work. However, when you enter back through the portal, you'll be sent back to the overworld. There are 8 different goat horns in Minecraft, but another 8 were actually removed. In a 1.19 snapshot, goat horns could be combined with copper to create a completely unique horn. Unfortunately, this horn was removed and forgotten. Ever wanted a flying pet? Well, when the strider was first added, you could fishing rod it into the air, and when you got on, the strider would stay in the sky and you could waddle above your world. Each world only has 1 dragon egg, but if you ever wanted to get another, there was a very easy method. All you had to do was place fences below the end portal and then drop the dragon egg on top. When you go through the portal, you'll find both the item and the block waiting for you. Leaving your Minecraft world causes your cat to sit down, and if a cat sits down on a chest, it can't be opened. So with a redstone contraption, you can set it up so a cat will sit down on a chest and send a redstone pulse whenever you log off. You can set up perfect traps to activate only when you leave. How do you make floating minecart rails? Just place trap doors and then rails on top. The rails can then be opened and it'll look like the rails are floating. Make sure not to break one of the rails though, or they'll all break. But a much sneakier way to defend your base is by using sand. Normally sand will fall down, but you can place a bunch on top of connected signs above a large hole. So when a player tries entering your base, just break a single sign and the entire sand floor will come crashing down. There are 4 special types of medicine. The antidote cures poison, elixir cures weakness, eye drops cure blindness, and the tonic cures nausea. Creating each medicine is pretty interesting. Instead of using a crafting table, it involves a brewing stand. Brew silver for antidotes, cobalt for elixir, calcium for eye drops, and bismuth for tonic. However, each medicine only removes 1 negative potion effect. So it makes you wonder, why don't you just drink milk? Get back here! A strange item might become Minecraft's best weapon. In Minecraft's combat testing snapshot, netherite hoes are the best weapon. This is because axes have a reach of 2.5 blocks, swords have a reach of 3 blocks, and hoes have a reach of 3.5 blocks. This would make it so someone using a hoe would always hit someone using a sword or axe first. I never thought netherite hoes would be actually useful. Fences are the strangest blocks in Minecraft. You can't jump over them normally, but when you make them even taller with a carpet or trapdoor, then you can jump on them. This game is so weird. How many striders can stack stack on top of each other. When striders were first added in the 1.16 snapshot, there was no limit to how many striders could spawn stacked. This made it so you could find even quintuplet striders. When you put a lead on the bottom one and got on the very top one, it'd cause you to start flying upwards. Unfortunately, this is no longer possible because striders can now only spawn in stacks of 2. This version of Minecraft is dangerous. Dying in a nether portal would make it so you could never click respawn. Even if you restart your game, the respawn buttons will still be grayed out. To fix this, you just had to update your world. Number 10, emerald armor would be super cool. It would be stronger than iron but weaker than diamond. Although it would look very pretty, it wouldn't be useful as iron armor would be way easier to craft and not too much worse. But if you still want it, you can always use the 1.20 trims to look snazzy. Have you ever wished you could tame villagers? You'd be able to have your own villager army. They'd follow you around and act as decoys for all incoming zombies. Sadly, Mojang didn't love the idea of villager enslavement as much as we do. I guess we have to stick to villager breeders and trading halls for now. Piglins have enemies. Wither skeletons and piglins both actively try to attack and kill each other, but baby piglins aren't as brave and will run away from both wither skeletons and withers. One of the most requested features is the vertical slab. It'd be awesome for building roofs, circles, and chimneys. It doesn't look like Mojang would be adding them though, as they don't want to prevent natural creativity. Subscribe if you want vertical slabs. Minecraft almost had lore. Back in 2014, Dinnerbone created something called the Ultimate Land. This would include the entire game's story and would involve the dragon egg and endermites. But when he tweeted about it, he mentioned he hasn't discussed it with the team yet, so it probably got rejected. If you trap a creeper in a boat and spin it at super speeds, the creeper will actually be dizzy. Its head will spin every so often and snap around, even though the boat is still. It also works with villagers and other mobs, so you can make them all get sick from spinning. An amazing way to hide your base is under snow. If you hide scaffolding under snow layers, you'll be able to crouch right through. Just make sure you remember the correct spot, so it doesn't look like you're dancing on the snow. One of the coolest things in Minecraft is the lag machine. They utilize some of Minecraft's least known features to crash servers. There are all different kinds, from bouncing armor stands to floating snowballs. My favorite is the minecart machine. It's super simple to make and is extremely destructive. But if you want to live in the ocean, a great option is building a realistic sailboat. Although it won't sail, it'll be a cool base where most mobs can't swim to you. If you apply the name tag Dinnerbone to mobs, it'll flip them upside down. But there are 3 mobs it won't work on. You probably know the Ender Dragon, but the other 2 are a bit more surprising. Considering you can do it to the Wither, the 2 mobs are the Squid and Glow Squid. Squids have another strange feature. Real-life squids have 10 tentacles, but Minecraft squids have only 8. But considering Minecraft has a dragon and giant green slimes, I think it's fine that squids aren't completely realistic. Torches are great for lighting up dark places, but they don't work underwater. But now there's a solution. Although you could always use blocks like glowstone or prismarine lanterns underwater, I think this looks way better. By combining a torch with magnesium in a crafting table, you'll get the underwater torch. This special block won't break underwater and will let you light up the oceans. Most people know that iron golems sink to the bottom of the ocean because they're so heavy. But did you know they'll never drown? This'll make them stay stuck in the deep seas for the rest of their lives. Iron golems have another superpower. They also don't take any fall damage, so you can launch them off a mountain and they'll be perfectly fine. If you can't tell if a chest is trapped or not, here's an easy test. Just place a redstone next to it, and if the redstone points towards it, it's a trapped chest. But this doesn't happen to normal chests. You probably know jumping and attacking will deal a critical hit, but did you know bows can deal critical hits too? To do a critical shot, you don't jump and shoot a bow, but instead, if you fully charge your bow, it makes the arrow have a 25% chance of doing a critical shot and doing extra damage. So that's just another reason to fully charge your bow back instead of bow spamming. If you want to create a timer, you have to use a bunch of hoppers and pistons, but the timer block would make redstone much simpler. With it, we could just set how many seconds we want to wait and done. However, Mojang has ruled the timer block out, so I still have to learn redstone. So if I place redstone here and gosh darn it, gravel can be super annoying when mining. However, if you place a torch underneath, the gravel will all just turn into items. Wait, how is this still going? Skeletons have a hidden detail very few players know about. About 11% of them spawn left-handed, and it apparently mirrors the amount of real people who are left-handed. How crazy is that? Crops take forever to harvest, which makes this automatic crop machine that much more satisfying. The water will flow down, crushing all crops layer by layer, and the items will be brought to the bottom where you can pick them up. You can get the nether portal block in Bedrock Edition 1.17. Build this redstone contraption that pushes a snow block and lights a nether portal. You can then use a silk touch shovel to instantly break the moving snow, which will bug out and let you farm infinite nether portal blocks. Cats always land on their feet in real life, but in Minecraft, cats don't take take any fall damage. You can hit them off a mountain and they'll still survive. Try surviving this. We've all built an underground base before, but it's so ugly. Instead, build a circle-shaped house and build the roof out of glass. Build the walls out of wood, and if you want to expand, just place tunnels on each wall. This will look way cleaner than a dirt hole. Almost all of the Minecraft paintings are based on real art from Christopher Zetterstrand. His artwork is now one of the most exposed pieces since Minecraft has sold over 300 million copies. Minecon cape accounts are very valuable. They are sold on black markets for hundreds of dollars. But what if Mojang just sold the capes? They could create a shop where players purchase the capes of previous Minecon events. However, Mojang wants to keep capes only for special occasions, so they won't be letting us get capes anytime soon. Depending on your difficulty mode, fire can spread faster or slower. For example, if you're in hard mode, it'll spread faster than you were in easy mode. But that's not all. Fire also spreads slower if you're in a humid biome. Humid biomes are swamps, mushroom islands, and jungles. So if you're afraid of fire, just turn on easy mode and build your base at a tropical island. Stop jumping on my crops! You probably know that jumping on crops destroys them, but it used to be so much worse. In beta versions of Minecraft, just walking on crops would break them. However, if you placed fences beneath the soil, the crops would be immune from tramplings. What happens if you light an end portal with bedrock inside it? Lighting end portals normally deletes all blocks inside, but bedrock is special and should be impossible to break. Well, it turns out the end portal is stronger and destroys the bedrock. You can create colorful glow sticks by combining polyethylene, hydrogen peroxide, luminol, and a dye of your choice. To use them, just give them a shake and they'll instantly glow in your hands. This item doesn't last forever, and you can see how many more shakes you have before it breaks from its durability bar. In older versions of Minecraft, you could stack multiple item frames to create works of art. You could make flaming swords, super weapons, tools of infinite power. Possibilities were endless. All you had to do was place multiple item frames, place the new item, and repeat. Unfortunately, item frame stacking was patched, but if you're ever on an older version, this is a pretty cool trick. Obsidian normally takes forever to mine, but not with Haste 255. You can shred through hundreds of obsidian blocks. It's also satisfying to mine a bunch of ore, and then collect the items afterward. The player used to turn with the minecart, but in newer versions of Minecraft, you just keep facing the same direction. I'm kinda glad this happens, because constantly changing directions makes me dizzy. Minecarts are amazing for transporting loot across your world, but crafting all the rails can take up a ton of iron. Instead, if you just place 3 minecarts on a single powered rail, minecarts will move infinitely without rails. This will save so much iron. You can make it rain arrows. When I shoot this arrow, more will fall down, creating a beautiful pattern. My favorite is shooting the arrow straight into the sky. To recreate this, just run the following command and you can even exchange the arrow tag with something like lightning. This is too cool. If you run the same command block multiple times, it'll create the lightning tornado. That's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. Have you heard of the chopping enchantment? It was once considered the worst enchantment. You could put it on an axe and it didn't do anything different. Later though, the chopping enchantment was renamed to cleaving and makes the axe do more damage and disable shields for longer. This enchantment is found in the combat test snapshots. If you want to get elements without just spawning them in, you can use the material reducer. The reducer breaks down normal items into elements. Every single element is obtained by inputting different items like glowstone, gold nuggets, and ink sacks. Certain blocks such as netherrack contain the unknown element with a question mark. If you take out a few elements, the item you placed in will be deleted, and you won't be able to input any more items until the rest of the elements are cleared. 22. Giants may be the most broken mobs in Minecraft. They have no AI, so they can't move at all. They don't burn during the day, even though they're zombies. And they don't make zombie sounds at all. Most ridiculously, they fly 4 blocks in the air while in a minecart. Raw iron and gold both have to be smelted in a furnace to make them usable. But did you know diamonds can be smelted too? You won't be getting diamond ingots, but you're actually able to smelt the ore variations to get the mineral. This works with emerald, redstone, and lapis ore as well. When you write on signs, the letters are actually floating in the air. You can see it best by using a spyglass to zoom into the sides. You should never sleep during a raid. This is because when you do, the raid completely restarts. This means that you have to fight all the mobs again. When asked to change, Mojang said that it's going to be left as it is. So if it turns night during a raid, don't sleep. Pizza is very tasty in real life, but sadly, it looks like it won't be coming to Minecraft. When requesting new foods, Mojang is looking to add new crops rather than prepared foods like pizzas. So it looks like we won't be getting foods like burritos, pizzas, and hot dogs added to Minecraft anytime soon. We all make mistakes, but what if you could just undo them? When using commands like /fill, you can easily delete an area you didn't mean to. When asked on Reddit, a Minecraft developer promptly replied, "Nope, looks like all actions are permanent, unless you get the world edit mod. Don't go near igloos." Well, at least with the bad omen effect, because some igloos can be detected as villages. This can happen if you cure the zombie villagers beneath the igloo. Ah, I don't have any items! Did you know there was wind in Minecraft? Although the player can't feel any of the wind, we can tell it exists by a few different things. The clouds in Minecraft always move westward, and if Minecraft didn't have wind, the clouds would just stand still. When a mob dies, the ash from the mob floats into the sky. Ah, not again. Phantoms can be very annoying, but there's a way to keep them away without sleeping. You may know that cats scare away creepers, but did you also know that cats will scare away phantoms? Phantoms will stay 16 blocks away from cats, keeping both you and your sanity safe. If a honey block is near a bee's nest, the bees will occasionally fly close and attach to it, resembling an action of eating honey. When doing this, the bees stop fluttering its wings and attaches to the honey block. Which dripstone do you think will do more damage? A giant dripstone or a tiny one? If you drop the first dripstone, the villager somehow survives, but dropping the second one actually kills the villager. What's going on is actually quite simple. Dripstone damage is calculated based on how high it falls from and not how long the dripstone is. This new arrow existed in the game for only 2 days. The Arrow of Luck was a reward item from Fletcher villagers. Using the arrow would grant the villagers the luck effect, which would make it so you got better loot from fishing. Too bad you can't get this arrow in survival anymore. We all love our pets in Minecraft, but did you know that cats are secretly evil? Cats appear cute and harmless, but within 15 blocks of baby mobs, cats are murderers. Cats will go after rabbits and baby turtles. This is why dogs are better than cats. Be gone, cat! I'm sorry. How do you type emojis in Minecraft? It's simpler than most people think. On Windows, press the Windows and period key to open the emoji tab, and on Mac, press Command, Control, Space. Now you have a whole new way to communicate. What do you think mine's quicker? An Efficiency 5 wooden axe or a netherite axe? I tested it, and the enchanted wooden axe was actually quicker than netherite. Looks like wood tools are good enough for me. Well, until they break. With maps and glass, you can make one-way windows. You can create maps that look like blocks using a custom map generator or by building block layouts by hand. Slap them on glass and you can spy on your friends without getting caught. So it was you who was stealing my emeralds. It's not just Steve who has to use the restroom, animals too. You'd be able to use the animal waste as fertilizer for your crops. It'd be like bone meal, except better. When Mojang was questioned about animals having waste products, they stated that it was not a fit for Minecraft. Imagine seeing your pigs do this in Minecraft. Ew. This village house is 146 blocks tall. The entire village is smashed against the side of a mountain, causing these strange buildings. This giant village happens on this seed in 1.12. Never use powered rails. Instead, if you put a pig on a minecart, it'll make the minecart travel extremely quickly on normal rails. The pig minecart is so powerful that it can even go straight up hills. Don't waste your gold on powered rails. In all of Minecraft, there is one block you can enchant. This block is a non-wearable block, so pumpkins don't count. The answer is the jack-o'-lantern, and it can be enchanted with curses even though you can't wear it. Unfortunately, this was patched in 1.20, but if you are ever on an older version, it'd be a super cool trick. Every item needs to have a name. If you try to delete the name in an anvil, you won't be able to take out the item. But on this version, it wasn't the case. Here, you were able to straight up delete the name of an item and get the illegal nameless item. How do you put a block on your head? I've wondered for years, and I've finally found out. The way is by using the /item command, which allows you to put all sorts of items and blocks in your head, from lightning rods to turn into a unicorn, fence gates to wear a mask, or glass blocks to become an astronaut. The exact command you use is this. The combinations are truly endless. This probably has happened to you before. When standing on soul sand next to lava, you'll actually catch on fire. It's a rather annoying bug and definitely surprised me the first time it happened. Shifting hides the player's name tag, but it has another secret use. Most hostile mobs can detect you from 16 blocks away, but sneaking decreases the detection range to 80% of their usual range. So if you're trying to escape some creepers, sneaking will help a lot. You may know that dispensers can place pumpkins to spawn golems or even skulls to spawn withers, but they could place another secret block. Up to version 1.8.5, dispensers could place command blocks. This illegal portal was made in survival. Normally when you break the obsidian, the portal breaks instantly, but with an update suppressor, you can freeze time. The suppressors overload Minecraft so much that you can break the obsidian without the game realizing. This is so broken. The Swift Sneak enchantment lets you travel super quickly, but most people use it wrong. The enchantment lets you move faster while shifting, but if you sprint right before pressing crouch, you'll go way quicker. But that's not it. You can go even faster by sprint jumping and holding crouch. Now you can escape your enemies without getting caught. Minecraft resource packs can change your game to look like anything you want, whether it's having short swords, super detailed blocks, or this cool texture, but they can also make your game look way worse. This texture pack unloads every single texture and replaces it with an error. What does rain look like? Oh my. This layered defense is great for stopping mobs. Just place a border of water to prevent endermen, the honey will trap some mobs, and the final layer of lava will stop all the rest. Want to break bedrock? Well, a simple way way to do so was with drip leaf, because when it was first added, bone mealing would make it grow right through bedrock. The bug worked on other blocks as well, like portal frames, enchanting tables, and ender chests. This is a bone meal farm. It uses stone generators, moss blocks, and bone meal to spread the moss. Once all the moss is destroyed, it can be composted into bone meal, and you'll get slightly higher returns. This is the meanest way to trap villagers. By placing a honey block and then a cauldron on top, any villager inside of it will be stuck for all eternity. Well, until you let them go. Everyone knows that you should never hit a zombie pigman, but how do you make them peaceful again? You'll need to hide at least 55 blocks in Java Edition and 25 blocks in Bedrock Edition for about 1 minute, and the pigmen will forgive you. Just make sure the chunks with the pigmen are still loaded, otherwise their peaceful timer won't go down. We're cool now, right? High five! Ah! What did I do? This one block can permanently destroy your world. In creative mode, if you click a chest, all the items will be saved in the chest. You can fill another chest with this save chest, and then another one, and another one. Repeating this process will create a chest with so much data that the game won't be able to handle it. This is a slideshow. Pandas will eat anything you give it. Normally, pandas will only eat bamboo, but if you summon one holding an item, it'll munch it down. This works with any item from TNT to command blocks. That must hurt its teeth a lot. Most people use blocks like oak wood or cobblestone to build their houses, but I wanted to see what it'd look like with crafting tables. Surprisingly, it doesn't look too bad and looks unique. Blocks can also be swapped with chests, and it looks pretty awesome as well. Be careful if your friend's trying to take your items though. Signs are super useful for writing things, but the problem is that they're too small. Luckily, there are 3 new blocks that change this: the slate, poster, and board. The slate is a little bit bigger than a sign, the poster is like a double sign, and the board is the size of a wall. You can use the blocks to write a lot bigger, and once you're done writing, you can lock the board to prevent pesky griefers. With just a chicken, lead, and boat, you can create a void base. All you have to do is attach the chicken to a fence, then ride the boat on top. This works because boats are able to land on top of entities. You can also put boat chests to make the most secret base ever. Donkeys are awesome for carrying loot, but they're too slow compared to horses. But there's a way to get both storage and speed. By feeding a tamed horse and tamed donkey a golden carrot, you'll breed them and get the mule. This mob doesn't spawn naturally and must be bred. The mule speed is between the donkey and horse, and it can have storage. Number 3. This mob looks like a villager, but it's not. It's an NPC, and they're a lot more powerful. Normally you just trade with villagers, but NPCs have a ton of abilities. You can change their name to anything you want, make them look like a computer, create dialogue that tells you to subscribe, or even just run commands. Their giant noses do look a bit funky though. You can break end portals in survival mode. Blowing up or mining the frame won't work, but for some reason a mushroom will. Bone mealing it a few blocks away will grow the mushroom right through the portal frames. Good luck beating Minecraft on this world. Squids are cheaters. Outside of water, they'll take almost no knockback. Too bad their weakness is air. What's the best way to get sand? You can mine for hours with a shovel, or you can do this instead. This sand duper uses the end portal and falling sand to get 72,000 sand per hour. It can also do concrete powder as well as gravel. Yeah, I'm never mining again. One of the scariest things in Minecraft is being chased by wolves. What most people don't know is that these angry creatures are parkour masters. Wolves are one of the few mobs that will actually jump over gaps to attack you. Ah, get away! Every Halloween, bats gain the ability to spawn almost anywhere. Instead of only spawning below light level 3, bats can spawn at light level 7 during the spooky season. This allows bats to spawn much more. Eee, they're everywhere. End portals are flat, right? Not exactly. If you place end frames in this exact way, you can create a vertical end portal, and it actually works. Once you put the eyes in, the end portal will spawn on the side for some reason. This is so cursed. End portals have a mysterious secret. Blocks like chests and dispensers give off a comparator strength when you put items into them, and surprisingly, end portals do too. When you put an eye in the frame, it gives a comparator signal strength of 15. I never expected end portals to be used for redstone. No, my armor! If you just took fall damage and were worried about losing armor durability, you don't have to worry. Your armor also doesn't take any damage from being on fire, suffocating inside a block, elytra collisions, entity cramming, potion effects, and powdered snow. So next time you're in an awkward situation, you can be at peace knowing your armor isn't losing durability. In older versions of Bedrock Edition, you could get the end gateway block. You had to place down stone blocks like this, and then by spawning the wither on its side, it'll cause the end gateway to break into an item. Unfortunately, this bug doesn't work in the latest version, but it was a cool glitch you could have done back then. You can have waypoints in vanilla Minecraft. By naming a banner, placing it, and clicking it with a map, you'll see a marker on your map. This way, you can label different areas like your home and mob farms. Although you can't warp to them, they're still much better than having to remember the coordinates of all your bases. TNT, slime, and honey blocks can be instantly mined. So if you're in somewhere like an ocean temple where you get mining fatigue, you can use the blocks to clear out the water and still mine the blocks right back up. Ow, my feet! Magma blocks will burn your toes, but there are two ways to avoid it from dealing damage. The first is by just shifting, and the second way is actually by using boots with the Frostwalker enchantment. Ah, my feet feel much better now. This is one of the most creative houses. A portal splits the house in two from the normal world and the nether side. It looks like half the house is transported from the nether. You probably know that you can press Ctrl and Q to drop an entire stack, but what if you wanted to drop only some of the items? Well, you can actually just hold down your Q button and it will drop down the items rapidly, allowing you to throw a ton of items without tiring your fingers. This also works in your inventory, so you can easily drop whatever items whenever. Let's go. My fingers are saved. I always thought that the totem of undying was T-posing, but it's actually not. The two little stubs sticking out are actually wings, not arms. But it does make a lot of sense, since totems drop from killing evokers, and evokers summon flying vexes. Minecraft items have a secret rarity system. This is why some items have white names, while others are colored. But what do the colors mean? Common items are white, treasure items are bright yellow, boss drops are aqua, and admin items glow purple. Have you ever wondered what's past the world border? You can see terrain past it, but you can't go further. Not even in spectator mode. But there's one way to reach the true end of the world. You need a pig and carrot on stick. And as you approach the world border, shrink it to go behind you. This will let you keep trotting until you reach the end. Over here, chunks no longer generate, and it's just lang. You may know that sponges dry out in the nether, but it actually happens in another biome. In Bedrock Edition, wet sponges placed in a dry biome, like a desert, will dry out after a few minutes. Just another reason you should never use furnaces to dry them. If you need to mine a huge area, you should use TNT dupers. For some reason, when you place coral and slime like this, it duplicates TNT. This is super overpowered and is every hardcore YouTuber's dream item. Bleach is actually in Minecraft. In real life, bleach is used for removing stains off clothes, and in Minecraft, it turns color blocks back to white. Just apply it to any colored item and done. To create bleach, combine sodium, hypochlorite, and water in a lab table. These Minecraft icons are super cool, but how do you get them? Unused Minecraft accounts were created with mob and block skins by a Mojang producer. The account names start with MHF and exist for a bunch of things like pigs, skeletons, and arrows. They may look a little outdated, but they're still super useful for map makers. To get them, just type the following command and use any of the following usernames. Dirt slabs were supposed to be in the game. They'd make the terrain a lot more smooth and pretty. However, they ended up causing terrain issues, and Knots decided to remove them. If you drop anvils over an entire village, will anyone survive? When you update one of the anvils, all the rest will come crashing down in a cascading pattern. All villagers in the open will be crushed. In the end, only villagers inside of the houses and iron golems survive. If you create a super flat world that's just TNT, you'll have one of the greatest explosions ever. You'll have an infinite chain reaction of TNT that'll only get laggier and laggier. But if you create this world in survival mode, make sure a creeper doesn't explode. Uh-oh. I'd be surprised if you knew this. The phantom sounds were made by a developer's son screaming in his sleep. Yeah, there's no way you knew that. In older versions of Minecraft, you could make 6-sided pistons by bugging out the redstone. Unfortunately, you couldn't activate it with redstone, but they looked beautiful and were used as supply crates on some servers. A secret mob vote was held in 2018. Only people in China could vote, and the panda ended up winning. However, the alligator, golden monkey, deer, and white dolphin were also potential candidates. Imagine having a monkey in Minecraft. By combining 8 arrows and a lingering water bottle, you'll get the tipped arrow of splashing. This is by far one of the most pointless items in all of Minecraft. It functions just like a regular arrow, but looks a bit cooler with blue particles. So if you're into that stuff, this is the arrow for you. This house is an optical illusion. The eyes follow you around as you move. To make it, just place slabs and stairs in this way. The house will stare down any intruders who try to rob you. When creating a new world, sand sometimes generates floating in the air. But if you break a single one, all the connected sand blocks will update and come crashing down. It's especially satisfying when the sand is connected to large sections. What's the smallest biome in Minecraft? Normally biomes are huge, spanning many chunks. But there was a bug in version 1.16 that would generate a 5-block beach biome in the middle of a plains biome. Looks like there won't be any parties here. Ever wanted to go teleport through walls? Well, with a boat you can. All you have to do is drive a boat to a corner like this. Or you could phase through straight walls using a dispenser like this. You'll never be trapped again, unless the wall is 2 blocks thick, of course. yours. Gosh darn it. Dolphins are friendly creatures that help you swim much faster, but did you know that they could also kill you? When attacked, dolphins will turn hostile and attack you back. And not just one dolphin, the entire pod of dolphins, similar to zombie pigmen, will come after you. Ah, I'm sorry. If you break a mob skull, for some, the same texture as breaking soul sand particles come out. It's almost like the mob's soul is trying to come out. Eek. If you try to break suspicious sand, it'll just turn into air. Even if you try to move it with a piston, the suspicious sand will drop no items. There is one way to get it though. If you place a bubble beam and let the sand fall onto it, the suspicious sand will eventually drop as an item. Villagers can be very smart. They calculate the perfect paths to escape zombies, but you can also use this against them. By creating a pathway in the sky, the villagers will try to run away from the zombies, but will be stuck in a loop. You can make all sorts of pathways to make the villagers go crazy. Minecraft's beacon texture has changed 4 times. It first just looked like a glass block and had a fuzzy beam. Then a weird rotating crystal was added inside. Next, it was changed to a diamond glass box and had a jagged beam. Finally, it was changed to the beautiful beacons we have today. When you spawn a wither, the sky changes color. It turns into a murky gray color, almost as if a storm were coming. Most people don't realize this because they just fight the wither underground now. You can break bedrock with pistons, but did you know there's a way to get the actual item? This is one of the best and simplest ways to get it. On version 15W47C, first kill the ender dragon. Then while respawning it, you have to place and break the final end crystal instantly. Doing so will drop a piece of bedrock, one of the rarest items ever. Hooray! Whoops. This is a shield spear. It was created by McMackenstein and protects you by surrounding you with shields. When mobs come and try to attack you, the swords are spiked outwards, not letting any of them get you. Creepers are notoriously explosive and can decimate your bases, but you can actually avoid ruining your bases with a flint and steel. You can use a flint and steel to ignite the creeper before it gets too close to your base, but if you don't use water, you may end up with some of these holes. Damn it, fill the holes up, Jerry! Penguins are in Minecraft. The Education Edition has various subject kits from science to history that players can learn from. One of these kits is called Frozen South, and it adds penguins to the game. This is way too cool. This enchanted sign actually existed, and it has a load of illegal enchantments. These signs appeared in the Minecraft 2.0 April Fool's update, where some zombie pigmen held enchanted battle signs instead of gold swords. Killing them would have a small chance to drop the battle signs. The different pigmans had different battle signs with unique enchants, so you can collect all different types. All of Minecraft's tools use wooden sticks as their handles, except one of them. Netherite tools are the only ones with a crimson shaft. Searching for item categories can be very annoying, since you have to know each item's exact name. However, there's a shortcut. Instead of typing each item name, you can use the hashtag symbol to search for item categories. For example, hashtag flowers, hashtag fish, or hashtag ores. This'll save me so much time. Most people just use a flint and steel to light nether portals, but there are way more creative ways to light them. You can use anything from lightning, exploding beds, or even gassed fireballs. Want the ultimate escape route? Just bring some leather boots and build a powered snow wall. Now, if anyone tries to pass this wall, they'll freeze to death. But if you wear your trusty leather boots, you can scale the entire wall like a pro. If you give yourself negative experience, nothing will happen in your hotbar. However, what you can do instead is summon negative XP orbs, and if you're holding a mending tool, it'll actually take away the durability. Given enough negative orbs, your gear can even get a negative durability. If you look at the bottom of a shulker shell, you'll see a unique spiraling pattern. But what's stranger is that a similar spiraling pattern is found on the bottom of ancient debris. Maybe that's why the shulker shell is so dumb. Minecraft bees are massive compared to real life. The bees in Minecraft are as large as chickens. They're more like birds at this point. Mojang has said that the bee's body size is final and won't be changed. So we're trapped with these terrifying creatures. Dropping sand on this block makes it break. While we all know things like torches and slabs will break falling sand, surprisingly, soul sand breaks it too. This doesn't seem much of an issue, but if you're trying to drain lava in a soul sand valley, you won't be able to use sand to clear out the lava at the bottom. Stairs are able to shape-shift to create smooth corners, but it can also be used for wall staircases that perfectly blend right back into the wall. Adventure mode makes it impossible to break blocks. Well, sorta. If you begin breaking a block in survival mode and then switch to adventure mode, attempting to break the same block shows the animation. However, you won't actually be able to destroy the block, just the animation plays. This surprisingly also works in spectator mode and should not be in the game. Iron golems will kill you if you hit a villager, so let's subject them to some payback. This machine bounces the iron golem up into lava and bounces it back down before it dies. Then it happens again and again and again. It's an endless torture cycle of fiery pain. What's the best way to fish? It actually depends. If you're looking to get primarily fish, you should fish in shallow areas because you get less treasure and more fish. However, if you want more treasure, you should fish in deeper waters water, so your bobber is surrounded by at least a 5x5x4 area of water. This chest is impossible to open. You may think there's a block or barrier on top, but there isn't. The chest was locked using the data command. With this command, you can lock chests, furnaces, and other storages. The only way to open them is with a key you set in the command. This way, you can have secret chests that only you know how to open. Begone, thieves! On Halloween, zombie skeletons, zombified pigmen, and wither skeletons can sometimes spawn wearing pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns on their heads. Beacons don't work if they have blocks in the way, so it shouldn't work in the nether, right? Not exactly, because Mojang wanted it to work in this fiery dimension, so the beacon beams can actually shoot through bedrock. Minecraft was supposed to have multiple dragons. You've met the Ender Dragon, but a secret red dragon that could land and fly around the overworld was supposed to be added. The possibilities for dragon fights, taming dragons as pets and riding them would have been endless. It was not his idea, but when he left Mojang, the idea was scrapped forever. When asked about it, he even tweeted, "It never happened." Tridents with loyalty will always come back. However, if your inventory is full, the trident will just spin around you. To take it even further, you can do this with a bunch of tridents to become the Trident Master. Honeycomb is the only block that is mined at the same speed no matter what tool you use. It can be used to make impossible to escape traps with pistons, as you wouldn't be able to break the honeycomb in time before it got moved by the piston. Someone save me! This is a colored torch. By combining a regular torch with metal chlorides, you can craft blue, red, purple, or green torches. The colored torches are great decoration and look very pretty, but they have one major flaw. The light is still white. Still, I think they look extremely nice. Most people think it's impossible to beat super flat. All you get is a flat grass world, but contrary to popular belief, you can actually defeat the Ender Dragon. To get blaze rods, lava can be found at blacksmith villages to create an obsidian and a nether portal. Then Eyes of Ender can be used to find the stronghold, which is for some reason floating in the air. Just have to go over here. Llamas are actually really useful. Although you can't control their movement with a saddle, llamas are amazing for item transportation. All you have to do is tame a llama and put a chest on it. That's not it, however. When you lead a llama, up to 10 nearby llamas will follow. So by attaching chests to the other llamas, you can form a caravan of llamas and chests. My life has changed forever. Have you ever wondered how the gas sounds were made in Minecraft? The sound is horrific. C418, the original sound designer for Minecraft, said that he got the sounds from his sleeping cat, and he modified them to sound scarier. What's the slowest way to travel in Minecraft? Well, without commands, this comes pretty close. Place soul sand on the floor, honey blocks on the side, drink a turtle master potion, and hold your bow. You'll be traveling at a whopping 0.1 blocks per second. Use this method to find tons of netherite. Just place a grindstone, apply fire resistance, and swim upwards beneath the grindstone while holding crouch. This way you can x-ray underneath lava lakes to find hidden netherite. This method is good because you don't need tons of beds to do it. This is the burning trench. If you just have a normal hole of magma, the mobs won't go down. But for some reason, when you dig a slanted trench like this, the mobs will just run straight down to their deaths. You guys aren't very smart. This is the most broken seed in all of Minecraft. It causes everything to repeat forever. The trees and islands, glaciers, ravines, it happens on Java 1.15.1 on this seed. Silverfish love to be annoying. So I trapped a ton of them in this obsidian box, and pressing this button will explode them all. These pests are the worst. This house may seem ugly and normal, but it has a secret ability. If a creeper explodes nearby, nothing will happen. This is due to command blocks filling in oak planks that are in repeat mode. It's quite simple to do, and will create a completely indestructible home. The only way to get chainmail armor is either in creative mode or from a mob drop, right? Well, in older versions of Minecraft, chainmail could actually be crafted. This was done by using fire in a crafting table. The recipe doesn't make too much sense, but it was at least a way of crafting the chainmail. Sadly, you can no longer get fire in newer versions of Minecraft, leaving it as one of Minecraft's lost items. It is possible to get your head through commands, so you can make a doll that tricks players into thinking you're home. Any thieves looking from afar will instantly turn back thinking that you're still there. This update was very controversial. The combat update made attacking have a cooldown, so you couldn't spam hit anymore. Many players were furious about this change and gave a solution, a PvP game rule. This way players could set if they wanted spam hitting or the cooldown system. Mojang didn't want the bug fix to combat systems and also have the game as simple as possible for new players, so they rejected the idea. Anvils dropped from the sky will kill almost any player, so what will win? A turtle egg or an anvil? For some reason, anvils actually get destroyed by turtle eggs. But if we jump on the eggs ourselves, they'll crack apart. I guess Steve's feet are stronger than a literal anvil. Have you ever broken an ice block and wondered why you didn't get water? Well, it's because you need a block underneath if you want water. Otherwise, you'll just get air if you try breaking it. On version 1.18.1, putting horses on top of turtle eggs will make them spin in circles. I have no idea idea why this happens, but I guess horses just love to dance. With the scale attribute in 1.20.5, you can shrink yourself to become smaller than a button. Now you can live in tiny homes, under cauldrons, under beds, or in between stairs. This just made hide and seek way more fun. This armor set was deleted. Studded armor was supposed to be in between leather and chain armor. It kinda looks like clay armor and could be crafted using iron and leather. Unfortunately, there wasn't a good reason for it to exist, so it was deleted. Llamas are one of the fastest mobs in Minecraft. They may seem slow at first, especially the wandering trader llamas, but there's a way to make them go super fast. When you attach a llama to a lead, up to 10 other llamas will follow, and they'll do almost anything to keep up. You can fly backwards in creative mode, and the llamas will still somehow keep up. Only one person had this cape. The Valentine's cape was given by a Mojang employee after a player had issues migrating their account. However, accounts with rare capes are often hacked, so the cape was later removed. I wish I had that. Minecraft's moon isn't just for decoration, it actually affects your world. The 8 Minecraft moon phases look like this. But how do they affect your world? Well, during full moons, slime spawns double, spiders can spawn invisible, and 50% of cat spawns are black. However, during new moons, slimes don't spawn at all, so it's probably not a good idea to go slime hunting during then. Placing a block next to a cactus will destroy it, allowing for some crazy automatic cactus farms. But something pretty cool is that there is actually a way to place a full block next to a cactus. Just stack up a bunch of snow layers and the cactus will be perfectly fine. Or you can even place powdered snow next to it. When you go to bed, only one of your cats bring you gifts. So, having multiple cats won't get you more items, but there's actually a loophole around this. By putting cats in boats, Minecraft can't tell there are multiple, and they end up all giving you gifts. It's the perfect setup. No, I'm sorry. Unlike silverfish, endermite are secretly OP. When you throw an ender pearl, endermites have a 5% chance of spawning, and for some reason, endermen absolutely hate them. So much so that within a 64 block radius, the enderman will blindly charge at the endermite, allowing you to create an amazing XP and ender pearl farm. There's another way to sneak past mobs, and it's even better than shifting. When you wear mob heads, it halves the distance that mobs can detect you. Just another way to get past pesky mobs. Lava and dripstone is a deadly combo in Minecraft. If you place lava on top of a dripstone block, it'll make lava slowly drip down. You can set up a glass chamber with a few lava dripstone blocks to literally rain fire on those annoying hostile mobs. Rabbits move by jumping up and down. However, when you put them on top of slime blocks, they become stuck. They can't move at all, even if a fox comes for lunch. If you create a copper-only world and increase your random tick speed, all the copper blocks around you will oxidize super quickly. At the edge of your world, you'll even see an oxidized copper spreading like a virus to normal copper. The gradient looks pretty. If you ever placed a lily pad before, you'd know that it faces a certain direction. But did you know you can't control the direction the lily pad's faces? No matter the direction you face, the lily pad always faces the same direction. In Bedrock Edition, mine coins are used to buy things from skins to maps. However, the only way to get them is by paying real money. But what if it wasn't? What if you could get mine coins from tasks such as earning achievements or playing on servers? The idea was rejected, and I'm not surprised. Mojang wants their money. Getting different types of wood can be very time consuming because if you need a lot, you have to set up a farm for each tree. This is why some players wanted dyeable or paintable wood. This would let you just paint over different woods to create beautiful builds. However, using a paintbrush in Minecraft isn't very Minecrafty and will decrease the amount of exploring the players do to find new woods. You can trap players in Minecraft's end credits. When you beat Minecraft, you enter a credit screen and then spawn back at your bed. But what if you could make someone stuck in the credits forever? Well, with a command block, you can teleport someone to the end portal, making them read the end poem for eternity. Minecraft turtles are pretty realistic. Just like in real life, turtle eggs in Minecraft will hatch at night. Turtles in real life do this to avoid predators and have a higher chance of making it to the ocean. These cute turtles also shed their shells in real life, and in Minecraft, they drop scoots. Wolves hate rabbits. They'll actively try to hunt them down and won't even eat the food. For maximum suffering, set up a flowing water stream so the bunny constantly has to swim away, but can never escape. The wolf also can never kill it. Double torture. Sharks would make the oceans of Minecraft dangerous and exciting. Sharks would be a neutral mob and wouldn't attack you unless you got too close or attacked it first. Just imagine the thrills of spotting a shark fin in the distance. However, Mojang says hostile mobs can't be based on real animals. This makes perfect sense until you remember spiders and bees are in Minecraft. Have you ever noticed observers have a face? Well, it didn't always look like this. Instead of a face, there was a small sensor. But because both sides of the observer looked like a sensor, it was easy to get them confused. Luckily, Jeb kept getting confused too, and just added a face. But if you want a house everyone would notice, try building out a red outline like this. Stairs on the side, and then one giant window in the middle. This base looks suspicious. glitches. You can break Minecraft's moon. This is one of the craziest bugs I've ever seen. It happens in older versions of Bedrock Edition when you set the time to negative. Doing so causes the moon to glitch and show all sorts of weird textures, from glowing rays to all the moon files at once. I actually prefer this. This sword is illegal, although it just looks like a normal golden sword. If you take a look at the enchantments, you'll see they're stacked super long with a bunch of duplicates. The item is impossible to get in the latest version, but on this version, piglings had a chance to spawn with these insanely powerful swords. I never thought this would get added to Minecraft. By combining 4 sodium acetate in a lab table, you'll get an ice bomb. This item can be thrown like an egg and, similar to ender pearls, has a small cooldown. When thrown, ice bombs freeze upon hitting water. The ice bomb only works on water and not on normal terrain or mobs. If you throw it underwater, you'll be put inside ice, saving you from drowning. If you ever wanted to swim underwater with dolphins, you should get a turtle helmet. The turtle helmet gives 10 seconds of water breathing and can be crafted with 5 scoots. Scoots are obtained when a baby turtle grows up, so you won't be having to kill any turtles. Oops, I'm too late. You should never dig straight down, right? Well, not exactly, because digging straight down has a 64% chance of leading to nothing and only a 6% chance of leading to lava, so it's mostly safe. And even if you do fall in lava, you can always just use a water bucket. Minecraft hitboxes are broken. For some reason, mobs can actually hit through walls, even though it should be impossible. The strange hitboxes also make it so mobs can hit you through diagonal sections, which is why you need to cover up all corners when going AFK. How much can Skulk spread from a single Skulk catalyst? When a mob dies near a catalyst, block Skulk will spread. So if you spawn a ton of Ravagers nearby, you can see the Skulk quickly spread and infect the land. My world is ruined. The most classic way to protect your base is just by using 2 dirt blocks. To enter and exit, break 2 dirt blocks into the side of the world, and almost no one will be able to find it. Just make sure no one is spying on you. What if you make a drip leaf only world? As soon as you spawn, you'll cause a drip leaf to break. The dropped item will then land on other drip leaves, causing them to break, which will create a chain reaction. It looks pretty satisfying seeing the drip leaf collapsing across your world. There's a way to teleport thousands of blocks in survival. If you block a Ravager's attack with a shield, the Ravager will power up and knock all enemies back. Using this mechanic, players can travel thousands of blocks almost instantly. This Reddit user created a working Rubik's Cube out of particles in Minecraft. It can be fully played, and the cube can even be rotated. Something equally impressive is this cube map that can be fully played by hitting these buttons. The Rubik's Cube even animates while turning. Look at this error block. It happens in Java Edition when a texture is missing. Fun fact, the black and purple textures are that way because they're so eye-catching and let developers know something is wrong. Most players build huge and elaborate contraptions to crash servers, but what if you could do it with just a crafting table and iron ingot? Well, YouTuber Horizon lagged a pay to win Minecraft server doing just that. An auto-clicker was used to spam the quick craft menu, which caused the entire server to lag and eventually crash. The /TP command lets you teleport around your world, but it can also be used to paralyze your friends. With a repeating command block, teleport the player to the same coordinates and they'll be stuck forever. Wait, how do I turn this off? You may know that wolves are scared of creepers, but they have one other weakness: llamas. Wolves think llamas are giant sheep, so they get super scared and run away. So next time your dog is misbehaving, trap it in a room with a llama. Baby piglings are adorable. While the adults will hunt down hoglings, baby piglings will sometimes ride on top of baby hoglings, even stacking up to 3 piglings on a single one. It's ridiculously cute. Shulker boxes are fantastic for carrying more items, but they have one problem: you have to place them to access the items. To fix this, Mojang has introduced a bundle which you can access with a hidden setting. While creating a new world, click More, then Experiments, and enable True for bundles. To use them, just right-click over an item and it'll suck it up. The bundle can hold up to 64 items. Take the items out, right-click it, and all the items will spew on the floor. Okay, maybe I still prefer shulker boxes. Creating staircases wastes a lot of blocks, but if you're low on them, you can use torches to help build upwards, and by recycling the torches, you can create a really long staircase. Minecraft blocks actually tell a story. Some chiseled stone bricks have mobs engraved into them, like the Warden, Reaper, Wither, Skeleton, and Hogling. In beta Minecraft, Endermen used to drop diamonds instead of pearls. I wonder how they got those. If you summon a skeleton riding a turtle, the skeleton constantly tries to shoot the turtle and misses. It's definitely not a feature Mojang intended. This crossbow makes it rain TNT. The arrows will rain bombs like a beautiful rainbow, and it looks gorgeous. I like to destroy massive amounts of dripstone using it, or even use it to kill a ton of cats. Minecraft recycles a lot of textures. Endstone is identical to cobblestone, bedrock to stone, and sand to clay. Even the creeper hissing sound is the same as the prime TNT sound, just pitched down. Every April Fool's Day, Mojang adds something special. In 2019, Minecraft added the 3D Shareware update. In this version, crossbows could have multi-shot up to level 12, but it was an incredibly rare item found in burning barrels. Other items could be found found in them too, like tipped arrows and random potions. Boats are meant for water, but I personally prefer them on top of cows. Boats are able to travel on top of entities, so by gathering a bunch of cows together and riding a boat on top, you'll be able to ride them like a wave. Just remember to hold out a piece of wheat, or they'll all leave you behind. This giant pillar of dripstone can break in seconds. If I activate this observer, all the dripstone will gradually break all the way up into the sky. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. These Minecraft accounts are illegal. Minecraft usernames are supposed to have more than 3 characters, but the names BB, G, and 8 exist. When Minecraft was first created, usernames didn't have requirements, and this allowed players to create these cursed usernames. In 1.8, snowballs used to damage players, but actually they never did. Contrary to popular belief, snowballs never dealt knockback to players. This was a myth because so many of the top 1.8 servers like Hypixel had a plugin that made snowballs do damage. In reality, they never did anything. If you break the bottom of a chorus tree, all the other blocks will break, including the flower at the top. And if you don't want to build all the way just to break the flower, you can actually shoot arrows at it or even throw a trident to get the flower. Now I can grow even more chorus trees. You can ban players with hoppers. By filling a chunk with a bunch of hoppers, you'll cause anyone who loads it to instantly crash. They won't even be able to join back because they'll still be in the chunks. The only way to come back is if their player data was wiped. This is evil. Using an NPT editor, YouTuber AntVenom was able to set enchantments to the maximum integer limit. A max sharpness diamond sword was calculated to do just over 1 billion hearts of damage, and a max smite sword was calculated to do 5 billion hearts to a spider. Insane. If a silverfish has poison, it'll cause another nearby silverfish to break out. So if you create a huge area of infested blocks and throw poison at a few silverfish on top, instantly the bugs will all crawl out and the huge cube of silverfish blocks disappears in seconds. This item has a secret ability. You may know that you can use fishing rods on mobs like pigs and zombies, but it also works on non-mobs. You can reel in things like shulker bullets, prime TNT, anvils, and even the dragon egg. Okay, Minecraft is not very realistic. Heal up already. Zombie villagers can sometimes take forever to heal, but placing iron bars and beds nearby actually speeds up the process. Up to 14 iron bars or beds can be placed near the zombie villager, and it'll increase the curing speed by a whopping 4.2%. Okay, that's pretty useless. Piglins go crazy for gold and will even attack you if you're not wearing any. To torture them, set up a machine that drops gold, and as soon as the piglin runs toward it, the gold gets shoved into lava. Once the piglin sadly walks away, gold is dispensed again. The ultimate betrayal after getting their hopes up. How many bone meal do you need? If you used bone meal to grow a sapling and it didn't finish growing, it wasn't a waste. Although the tree didn't fully grow, the bone meal decreased the growing time and it actually helped. So it's probably not a good idea to break and replace the sapling after using bone meal. What happens if you shear a Jeb sheep? It's constantly changing colors, so will it give you a random wool color? When you try to shear it, it ends up just giving you the wool of the original sheep color before it was named Jeb. If you rename a chest in an anvil, something really cool happens. The inventory inside will be labeled. You can also rename a command block with an anvil and it'll output from the respective name. How do you make a sand wave? You can do this by creating a large area of bubbled columns and then stacking up sand blocks in a similar diagonal pattern, just like on top of signs. Once you break the bottom block, all the sand will fall in a bouncing wave. It's like a sand hot tub. The Aether adds a legendary sky dimension to Minecraft with new mobs, ores, and epic bosses. The mod was so popular that the developer ended up getting hired by Mojang, where he would create the opposite, the nether dimension. Unfortunately, when asked about a sky dimension, the developers have said that they will not be adding community-made mods to Minecraft. The Aether would have been my favorite dimension. Minecraft has an inventory problem. It can be extremely difficult to travel long distances without getting your inventory full. Luckily, Minecraft has a movable storage system. Donkeys! Donkeys can be right-clicked with a chest to create movable storage. It doesn't provide too much storage, but sometimes on your adventures, it can be just enough to bring home that extra totem. You can run experiments with the lab table. This block allows you to test different ingredients together, and when you combine them, you'll either get a new item or be left with garbage. The lab table plays a huge role in getting 4 unique items. Can the world border stop the end portal? Let's first try with a medium-sized border, and it still works. Now, if the border is partly into the portal, it works as well. Finally, if the world border is in the portal, let's test it. Looks like the end portal is stronger than the world border. There's a way to get unlimited food, and it's by enslaving foxes. By building a berry farm like this and trapping a fox inside, the fox will regularly pick organic berries, which will get collected by a hopper minecart. But to make it even better, place a chicken nearby, and the fox will never go to sleep. For some reason, all these blocks can't stop a skeleton from burning in the sun, but surprisingly, cobwebs keep the skeletons safe, even though you can see right through it. Did you know you can teleport mobs? Running this command will teleport the Ender Dragon right to you, but you can take this one step further and teleport every mob to your location, including things like boats and minecarts. The item frame looks pretty funky when you teleport it. I never knew it could be slanted. Everyone knows that you should never hit a zombie pigling, or all the rest to charge at you. But if you kill it in one swing, all the piglins won't know what happened and stay peaceful. This is not a dead bush. Do you see it? That's right, it's placed on grass, but dead bushes can only be on top of sand. This is actually called a shrub, and since it looks so similar to the dead bush, they were actually merged together on version 1.13, and now only desert bushes exist. With only a few blocks, you can make a time bomb. When the furnace finishes cooking, it'll update the TNT and blow up. By setting up this redstone contraption in this exact order, you can create the bomb. Set the timer with the amount of items in the furnace, and break this lever to point the redstone at the TNT. The change is so subtle that Minecraft doesn't realize the TNT has a redstone pointed at it. Once the furnace finishes cooking, the TNT updates, causing it to explode. You can now get balloons, and they're the best items ever. They can be attached to fences or walls as decoration, or even used as target practice. Balloons can be popped by shooting a bow, throwing a trident, or just striking it with a sword. But they have one more secret feature. When tied to a mob, the balloon carries the mob high into the sky before eventually disappearing. Smaller mobs like chickens fly up quicker than heavier mobs like sheep, but the iron golem is so heavy that it just stays stuck to the ground with the balloon. To craft them, combine latex, helium, a lead, and any dye you want in the crafting table. This jump is impossible to 99% of players. The only way to make this jump is by doing a secret technique. By turning 45 degrees mid-air, you actually travel a bit further. This method is called a 45-degree strafe and will give you about a 2% speed boost. It is the only way you can make this otherwise impossible jump. How long do Minecraft items take to despawn? Any dropped item will despawn after 5 minutes. Shot arrows will despawn after 1 minute. But there's a key detail. The item despawn counter only goes down if the chunk is loaded, so items in unloaded chunks will remain forever. The desert temple is one of the nicest looking structures, so it's not a bad idea to make it our initial base. Simply place wooden stairs around the top to make a roof for our pyramid, and you'll be able to identify it a lot easier from the other desert pyramids in the world. Minecarts are infamously slow, but there's a way to make them go at supersonic speeds. Just put a boat in a minecart and it'll race forwards. This is way more efficient than powered rails. If you put the dinner bone name tag on a horse, you can still ride it. The horse will be freestyling on its back somehow. This also works with saddled pigs. By filling up walls with lava and surrounding them with water, you'll create regenerating walls. This will make it so everyone trying to mine through will have a very difficult time, because the cobblestone walls will just keep on healing. But if you kill a chicken and its corpse falls off a cliff, the corpse will slowly fall and keep on flapping its wings. I hope you didn't know this one. Drowned zombies could be so much scarier. While swimming, what if drowned zombies would try to drown you? They'd grab you and take you down the ocean like a bubble column. Mojang has said the drowned aren't going to drown you, so we should be safe for now. While most fish are pretty boring, salmon have a superpower. When near a waterfall, salmon can swim up to 5 blocks of water. They're better swimmers than me. The warden looks terrifying, but some of the original designs were even scarier. On a blog post by Mojang, the various concept arts for the warden were shared. One version of the warden would even flip around 180 degrees. Disgusting. This Minecraft mob has different stages. Piglins can have a light, medium, or heavy aggression. The light tier can be fixed by wearing gold armor. The medium tier can be calmed by bartering gold. And the heavy tier can't be cured. Did you know armor stands can drown? If you put an armor stand underwater, eventually bubble particles will start coming out, showing it's drowning. I guess that means armor stands are living. Horses are amazing for overland travel, but can't swim, so water crossing can be very difficult. Luckily, their skeleton variants actually have a hidden ability. They can glide through the water. Just make sure you got a turtle helmet for the water breathing, so you don't drown while you're on a horse. Villagers are terrified of raids. When they hear one coming, they all scatter into their homes, and some villagers will even shake and sweat in fear. Minecraft used to generate 2-block-tall obsidian walls around spawn. The walls would intersect at the center of the world, and were added for experimental purposes before coordinates were added. Pistons can only move up to 12 blocks, and it can be very frustrating. Players have wanted to increase this limit for years, as it'll allow you to build crazy contraptions. Mojang doesn't want pistons to be overpowered, so they have said that the limit would not be increasing. Getting skull sensors can be extremely dangerous as they're located in the deep dark. Fortunately, there is a safer solution. Pufferfish. When anything moves near one, it instantly puffs up in warning, and when it does, its hitbox grows just enough to activate activate a tripwire. You can use this to detect players through walls and create epic secret rooms. This way you can have wireless redstone without going to the deep dark. Minecraft crops grow super slowly, but with this trick you can speed it up. If you plant different crops in alternating rows, it'll quicken the growing process. You can see the difference best when the different crop farming types are side by side. I never understood this until now. When you ride a mob, you probably notice its hearts right next to yours. But did you know that the orange little hearts are just like that to match the saddle texture? It's a small detail that is just so cool. Redstone ore can be very deadly. If you create a small box like this and spam XP bottles down, a lot of particles will come out. So much so that you may notice your frames dropping. But by disabling your particles, you can create a lag machine that only affects other people, giving you an advantage to anyone who comes near. When end ships were first added, you could find a handwritten book written by one of the developers, Surge. The book said, "We will have something else here soon," which is true since the Elytra replaced it in the following update. Stop giving me knockback! If you're trying to get better enchantments and all you see is knockback, you can re-roll them by enchanting something cheap like a wooden shovel. Then try again with your sword and voila! Brand new enchantments! Silverfish-infested blocks are very annoying, but did you know they can be detected? Compared to normal blocks, infested blocks actually have a slightly faster mining speed, so you'll know when you're mining one. This way, you can avoid having to deal with pesky silverfish when mining. You should never use coal to smelt. One coal can only smelt 8 times, while one lava bucket can smelt 100 times. And there's an entire dimension of it, for goodness sake. But if you want to save even more materials, just craft a campfire with 1 coal, and you can smelt infinite food with it. By combining ammonia and phosphorus in a lab table, you'll get super fertilizer. It fully grows any crop or sapling in an instant. It only takes 1 super fertilizer to fully grow anything. Even using it on grass will give you more flowers. This is the ultimate farming tool. When you meet an Enderman, you're probably used to its purple eyes and black smoke that it emits. But the Enderman actually used to have green eyes. This is a walking house. It even has controls that you can use to move the house around, jump in the air, and shoot TNT at your enemies. When you're done, you can make the house sit down and then enter it like nothing ever happened. It works using a data pack by McMackenstein. This is the most cursed way to break Minecraft. By using the no cube mod, you can completely remove the cubes from the world, creating rolling landscapes, circular caves, and realistic trees. The mod transforms Minecraft from a block game to okay, what is this? Bring me back! Slimes love to bounce around, almost too much. To punish them for their sins, you can turn them into volleyballs using iron golems. Just place 2 big golems like this, and they'll smack that slime back and forth forever. It's an epic automatic volleyball minigame. Try it on your friends too. If you shoot a bunch of arrows with your left hand, you'll see more arrows will land on the left side of your crosshair. This happens because arrows lean a bit left or right, depending on which hand you shoot a bow with. I always thought something was off. Did you know the top of a desert temple can perfectly fit a fully powered beacon? Fitting a max beacon inside is so satisfying. Screaming goats love knocking players off cliffs, but most people don't know that goats also attack armor stands. So we can set up a barrier preventing the goat from knocking the armor stand off, and it'll keep trying for the rest of its life. It'll even scream in frustration. Village houses look way too basic, but turns out by just exchanging a few of the blocks, you can completely upgrade it. The new house uses the same outline, but just looks a million times better. Can you sleep in this bed? The bed is sticking halfway outside of the world border, but if you right-click it, you can actually sleep. But will you be able to grow a tree here? Let's see, and yep, how about using a dragon egg? The egg won't teleport outside of the border, but will go vertically up. That's so cool. Polar bears are mostly peaceful, but make sure you don't go near their cubs. Similar to real life, grown-up polar bears are very protective of their cubs. So whatever you're doing, make sure to not even get close to their babies, or you'll be met with an angry mother. I wonder if pigs will protect their babies. Nope. If more than 24 mobs are squeezed into a single block, they start to take damage. This is because of entity cramming. But you can actually increase the 24 mob limit with a game rule. You can cram thousands of mobs in a single block, but if you let them out, something strange happens. All the squished entities push against each other and create an animal cannon. Wait, how did they go both ways? What happens if you enchant a normal golden apple? Will it act just like a god apple, or will it be the same? The answer is actually in between. Enchanting a regular golden apple boosts its rarity to epic, turning its name the same color as god apples. It's still functioning like normal, but how cool is that? Pixel art is bland, but beacon pixel art is beautiful. You can use beacons with stained glass panes to create pixel art from the colored beams. If you want gaps, you can use stone walls without ruining the beam. This looks gorgeous. The bucket has a slight detail only the most observant players will notice. When you pick up a fish, the bucket texture goes down by 1 pixel to show the weight of the fish pushing it down. It's nearly impossible to see if if you're not looking closely. The piercing enchantment on crossbows makes arrows go through mobs, but it has a trick. By using a piercing bow and a tipped arrow of weakness, you can affect all villager zombies in a line with weakness and cure 4 villagers at once. Or you can just use a splash potion. This is the easiest way to kill a warden. As the warden spawns, build an iron golem and make sure you have over a stack of iron. You can use this iron to heal the golem as it takes damage, and it'll destroy the warden for you. It may seem a little expensive, but you can easily get iron with AFK farms, and it's certainly better than dying in the deep dark. You may know that phantom membranes are needed to brew slow-falling potions, but did you know they also have a hidden use? When flying long distances, your elytra will lose durability, and if you don't have mending, phantom membranes can be used instead to fix your elytra. Dolphins are unique among sea creatures because they can drown. Dolphins can't stay underwater for more than 4 minutes, or they'll take damage, and they can't stay outside of water more than 2 minutes, or they'll die as well. Make up your mind already. I can't believe this block is in Minecraft. When you place snow on top of a grass block, the texture changes, but if you remove the snow on top, it looks like this. To get the snowy grass block, an Enderman has to pick up a regular snow grass block. This works in version 1.16, and once the Enderman places back the block, you'll be left with this cursed thing. If you want it in creative mode, you can just use a debug stick. Number 2. This special TNT works underwater. Just combine sodium and TNT in a crafting bench, and you'll get underwater TNT. If you place multiple underwater, they'll even chain together, creating massive sea explosions. This is very cursed. Have you ever tried sleeping underwater? Because it's actually possible. If you swim down to the bottom of the nearest ocean and place your bed, you'll be able to get a good night's rest, while all the floating mobs can't touch you. Where are your photos saved? Whenever you take a photo, it ends up appearing in the portfolio. This item stores every picture you've ever taken, and you can delete them, add captions, or even take them out as a photo item. They can be hung up on item frames to store your amazing memories. How do you get netherite stairs? In Minecraft's Infinite Snapshot, there is an item called the swaggiest stair ever. You aren't able to craft it, but you can find it in one of the infinite dimensions. Torches have to be attached to a block or they'll break. However, using commands, we can fill a large section of torches floating in the air. This can also be done with beds and even doors. Some blocks, like bamboo, will completely collapse if you punch the bottom block. So if you make a really tall one and break the stem, the entire tower will collapse. This can be done with other blocks too, like cacti, sugar cane, and my personal favorite, dripstone. Ah, so satisfying. You can get snowy grass as an item. Most people think it only exists as a block, but that's not true. To get it, travel to the Infinite Dimension Snapshot, write in a book, Skygrid, and locate the snowy grass block. Once you find it, transfer your world to the one block at a time update, and put the block on your head. You can now update your world, and you'll have the actual item. You can crash Minecraft with just a flint and steel and a dispenser. Normally, the combo would light a nether portal, but not in this version. In 1.16.4, just flick this lever, and you'll find yourself right at the launcher again. Saddle pigs are pretty slow, but right-clicking the carrot on stick actually makes the pig speed up. What's even more surprising is that the heavy pigs can actually climb up ladders. They've got some pretty strong legs. You can ride boats down high cliffs and take no fall damage, but there are 2 amazing tricks you can do with boats. While the boat is falling, if you quickly leave it and re-enter constantly, the boat will fall down slowly, but there's another trick. If you quickly light the boat on fire and then ride it down, the boat will glide slower, allowing you to travel much further. Boats are the best. Never dry your sponges with the furnace. Instead, use the power of the nether to dry your soaked sponges. You don't have to waste any fuel. Too bad it doesn't work in the end though. I learned the hard way. Gosh darn it. If you're falling from the sky and don't have any items, how do you survive? Well, all you have to do is disconnect right before hitting the ground, and once you enter the world again, you'll be granted a brief period of invincibility. This glitch can also be used to escape lava by disconnecting and rejoining every few seconds for invincibility. When Endermen were first added to Minecraft, they could pick up any block, including bedrock and monster spawners. This could be abused and let players obtain illegal items in survival. Villagers can actually wear armor if you use a dispenser. Doing so will let you put thorns on a villager or even a pumpkin. However, if the villager turns into a zombie, it disappears in Java Edition. No, my pumpkin! What if you could enchant any item? Well, on Snapshot 12W49A, there was a bug that let you. It could be done with anything from blaze rods to even dirt blocks. This dirt block is super powerful. Why were cakes added to Minecraft? You may think it was for celebrating birthdays, but that's not it. They were actually added because Minecraft won the Indie Game of the Year award in 2010. The Soul Speed enchantment makes you travel at super speed on Soul Sand, but it used to be extremely broken. On this snapshot, if you use Soul Speed boots on Soul Sand, your boots will take damage until they have a negative durability. What's the best enchantment for armor? Protection, unbreaking, or maybe even thorns? How about none of them? Because when you enchant your armor on this old version, you just get the enchanted enchantment on your equipment. I guess this is the best. When you load a world, the chunk color colors actually mean something. Black means unloaded terrain, gray means structures, and blue means water. This is the full color chart. So next time your world is loading, keep an eye out for interesting chunks. Villagers are completely helpless in Minecraft. When attacked, all they can do is run. To make them less useless, some players requested for villagers to fight and defend themselves. They'd be able to wear armor and use swords to kill mobs. But Mojang has said that this is why golems exist, and villagers are just peaceful creatures who don't want to fight. This machine scans your build and turns it into a particle hologram. It works by using a lot of command blocks and scanning all blocks in the selection region. Once your build is ready, just flick this lever and your creation will be turned to particles. This is so cool! If you ever wanted to build a bubble elevator, don't use water. Instead, stack up with ice blocks above a soul sand block and then mine it all down with a pickaxe. All the ice blocks will turn into water source blocks and the bubble stream will send you flying right back to the top. Whee! The void is the deadliest thing in Minecraft. It will kill you no matter how much armor you have. But there is one way to survive it. Enchanted golden apples. This player successfully survived 100 days in the void by filling up shulkers and his inventory with enchanted golden apples. Replacing a block in creative mode can be very tedious because you have to both break it and then place a new block. But instead of doing that, if you right and left click at the same time, the block instantly gets replaced. This allows you to replace blocks floating in midair or even replace solid blocks with iron bars easily. Iron golems are known for protecting villagers, but some of them are evil and try to kill villagers. After a raid, villagers shoot up fireworks to celebrate. These fireworks can damage golems and make them furious. Looks like even villagers can enrage iron golems. Want more inventory space? Just turn on touchscreen mode and use your number hotkeys to place your items in the crafting grid. You can exit your inventory and the items will stay there. This bug was patched in 1.19, but you can still use it in any version before. This block combo is better than trap chests. While trap chests are decent, they're easily noticeable due to the red marker on the inside. On the other hand, an observer beneath a barrel will create an impossible to see trap. This way, if you want to catch sneaky thieves, keep your valuables in a barrel and trap it. They'll never see this coming. Let me ride you already. If it's taking forever to tame a horse, you can feed it a golden apple before trying again, and it'll be way more likely to accept you. If you place a bed underwater and bring a villager down, it can actually fall asleep here. But you can make it even weirder. If you put the bed surrounded by lava, the villager can somehow get in too. While the villager is sleeping, you can pour lava over its face and it'll sleep like an angel. But once it turns morning, the villager won't be very happy. But what's even crazier is this negative durability item. You can give yourself an item with negative durability and the red bar will go across your screen. If you set the item durability to the negative integer limit, using it once will make the durability roll over and be completely new. Endermen get furious when you look at their eyes. However, if you accidentally lock eyes with them, don't look away. As long as you keep staring at their eyes, they won't move. It's been 3 days. Hell, stop making sounds. Sometimes parrots make a bit too much noise, so you can silence them by giving them a yummy treat. Just toss them over a cookie and it'll stop making sounds and also be poisoned. You can fly faster or slower in spectator mode by scrolling. By scrolling up or down your hotbar, you can adjust the flying speed to as fast as 87 blocks per second or as slow as practically not moving. Ravines are mostly used for mining, but turns out we can actually turn it into a base. We just need to create a slab floor and that's it. The one downside is mobs can enter from the top, but it's still an awesome looking base. To make sure no mobs attack, you can build a hostile mob switch. The contraptions overflow the world with hostile mobs and make it so no more can spawn. Boats travel extremely quickly on ice. Some players have made dedicated ice boating tracks where you can glide across to the finish line. There are all kinds of tracks like soaring through mountains, underground caves, and even a rainbow road. It's super satisfying to drift across the ice. What would touching a creeper feel like? Well, Notch, the original creator, said that a creeper in real life would feel crunchy, like dry leaves. Ew. When breaking the top of a grass block, only dirt particles appear. This is because running and breaking particles uses only the bottom texture of the block. So next time you're sprinting on grass and only see dirt, you know why. When you build a house, you make it oriented upwards. But if you're tired of this and want to surprise your friends, just try flipping your house over. And if you're extra dedicated, you can build a completely functional one like this. One of the best ways to not get raided is by having your base impossible to reach. By building your base at the world border, you'll make it so very few people will want to come attack you. And you can even build your base against the border for extra protection. This is the most inefficient staircase ever. It takes 18 blocks to go up just one block. And although it's not very practical, I think it looks pretty cool. If your base is in the desert, you should probably use cactus. You can surround your entire base with cactus like this, and the mobs will push each other into it. But to stop players, you can put boats around the base, and all mobs that get trapped in them will attack players trying to enter. When you bone meal the grass, it may look like the flowers flowers are randomly popping up, but they're not. Flowers in Minecraft generate in patterns and can be seen by constantly bone mealing and removing the grass. This looks trippy, but that's not as overpowered as this because you can create a bazooka. You see, gas can actually be trapped in minecarts and you can bring them to the overworld. The gas can be put in a cage and will act as a bazooka, shooting any players that try to invade your base. It can be activated and deactivated with a piston. This is a gravity block duper. It worked on older versions of Bedrock Edition. If you send blocks like sand or gravel through it, it'll convert to any random item. So if you leave it on for a while, you'll eventually get items like the border block, fire block, bedrock, jigsaw, and light block, all from survival mode.